Good morning, beautiful people. It is Thursday, July 2nd, 2020. This will be our last day live of this week for the long weekend for America's birthday. Shout out to that happening. By the way, one of the greatest called shots in history, because if you do the research, and I have not done it recently, July 4th, 1776, by the way, we were not a free country. We were still in the middle of battle, and we did a Babe Ruth point to the outfield and said, this is probably going to come to fruition in the next couple of years at least, and hit a dinger. So that's good. Haven't got everything right, obviously. Still getting better. But I'll tell you what, travel the world, you think, you know what, America's not too bad of a place. We just have to get better, which we will, and we always will. And we will have a long weekend for that. All the boys are here. We got a nice little feel-good Thursday. We got Kenny the Jet Smith joining us today. All right, Kenny, after Jason the Jet Terry was on yesterday, Kenny the Jet Smith is on today. Want to know if there's any beef between those two for who's the alpha jet? Is this two birds in the sky like Avatar, or is it the bigger bird that's above the thing? Because Jason Terry, legend. Kenny the Jet Smith, though, legend. And he's been running basketball camps for 25 years down in North Carolina. This year, they are doing online streamed camps, which sound like a great idea, by the way. I think Jordan Palmer's doing this with his quarterbacks over there in California and high school kids across the country. This might be a more efficient way to do camps, by the way. If people are learning via YouTube anyways, so if you're going to have somebody hop on a Zoom and kind of watch it and learn, the only issue is, I guess, getting out there amongst each other and getting work. But if you want to teach somebody technique, I feel like this is an easy way to do it. And I believe Kenny the Jet Smith has some people that are helping him with his camp. Kemba Walker, ever heard of him?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Brittany Griner, ever heard of her?
Wow.
Well, she dunked, right? She was the dunker.
Said she could beat an NBA player.
Which, by the way,
Maybe.
we
Might be
don't
able
know.
to.
I'm not going to judge. Probably not, but maybe she does. I don't know.
She's pretty tall.
Feels like not, but maybe. Victor Oladipo. Ever heard of him? He's not 100% sure he's going to Orlando with the Indiana Pacers, but he will be with Kenny the Jet Smith teaching people how to play basketball. Breonna Stewart and Sue Bird. Ever heard of her? Sue Bird just hosts the ESPYs. Will be helping Kenny the Jet Smith. Trey Young and WNBA star to be announced. He's doing those July 20th through the 24th, 27th through the 31st, August 10th through the 14th. We're going to sign up Mitt to do this. Hopefully he gets a better jumper. That's what we're going to do.
Smart.
Kenny the Jet Smith will join us in the second hour, and in the first hour, a man from Pittsburgh. Big baseball show. Just one day after Rob Manfred took his foot, like this, and said, how do I shove this thing into my mouth again? How do I do it? Did an interview that was basically a victory lap on the 60-game season getting done, and he talked about how the owners were never going to go anything other than 60 games anyway. So whenever you say that in a victory lap after a deal is done, and you were the one pushing the narrative that the MLBPA, the Players Association, was operating in bad faith, you just literally said that you were operating in bad faith, saying we would never have gone more than 60 games anyways. Was I delaying? Well, I don't know, but we would have never gone 60. So now what does this mean? Nobody knows. We got a season. We got 60 games. That thing's starting. Spring training's already happening. That's going to go on. They said that the players can file a grievance. What the hell does that mean? Nobody knows what that means. But Rob Manfred is who we thought he was. That guy's a stooge. At Ty Schmidt, big baseball fan. Baseball is coming back. You got to be happy about that. Although Jet Passon has blown us off twice now. Would have liked to get his information. It is a big time to be Jet Passon and a baseball fan, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people think you're being over the top when you say he's the worst commissioner ever. There's no question about it. I mean, this guy, he's just a moron. He's an idiot. He just dragged baseball through the mud for the last 4 months for no reason at all.
Well, I think in commissioner, and we talked about this when I initially went after him, and a lot of people go after Roger Goodell because Roger Goodell has made poor decisions in the past, and Roger Goodell has probably punished somebody on your team that you didn't like. But when you listen to Roger Goodell talk, that dude is a polished speaker. He has the ability that only a very few amount of people have, where he can talk for so long and say nothing and make it sound as if a lot is going on. That is a big part about being a commissioner, because as a commissioner, you're literally sitting out there as a shield to the owners. You are just sitting there taking it, boom. You might be the messenger from what all the owners are saying, but there's a way to deliver your message in a fashion that doesn't just ruin your sport. I thought Rob Manfred, let alone the piece of metal comment about the commissioner's trophy, which is the championship in the MLB and the way the whole thing. But when I saw that first press conference, and he was taking questions. He was like looking down. He wasn't looking at him. Like that's like rules 1 through 10 are rule number 1. Make eye contact and look confident in what you're saying. And then rules 2 through 10 are go back to rule number 1. I think that is just 100%. And he didn't have any confidence. And then now he's in these interviews like showboating almost. And remember in his statement, whenever they started back negotiating after 8 days of not talking and the world was burning around them, the first sentence was, at my request. It's like this Rob Manfred guy he's an insufferable prick, it feels like. And it really does seem like this is just who he was. And in this victory lap, he could have, right? The entire conversation, the environment, the culture, the tone of it could have been like, thankful baseball's back, love baseball. We wanted to get the deal done or whatever. But just letting that out, like, yeah, we're never going to go more than 60 games. It's like, why does that even need to be said? It doesn't need to be said because now you potentially put the owners in a bad faith contract breach with the players, and you're supposed to be the person. I just think there has to be somebody better for the commissioner thing of the MLB. And if that hasn't been proven by now, I don't know when it ever will be. And Ty, I don't say, why not you or Mad Mel Kiper be the commissioner of the deal?
Hey, I mean, I'll do it.
Yeah, you will.
This guy couldn't get any worse. He really couldn't. I can't see there being any way that he makes it out of this without, like, they have to go a different direction. You have to find somebody else.
Have to. And by the way, probably a great lawyer.
Okay?
Probably a great lawyer. I understand that. By the way, we don't know him as a person. I guess we kind of do, but I mean, I feel like we kind of know the guy at this point. He's probably an okay guy. I would I'm not talking about him. I'm just talking strictly as a commissioner of a sport that is dying and it almost was dead. He seems to be the worst person that you would want out there. Okay, how do we make this sport worse? Let's make the most hateable guy our commissioner. It's like, well, that's just not what the commissioner's supposed to be. He's supposed to be in his basement eating M&Ms on his chair that he's been in for 35 years.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And Jeter came out and said that there's no trust between the players and the owners. And Manfred coming out and say this is not going to help that at all, especially with the new CBA negotiations coming up next season.
That's at Tone Diggs, by the way. Tone Diggs is set for a big weekend with his Geelong Cats.
Yeah.
Big game Saturday morning, 2:35 a.m.
my favorite
all
time.
the viewers, all your followers, everybody like that is expecting you to be up and live tweeting that game against the Gold Coast Suns and Zito.
There's never been more of a lock.
For what, the Geelong Cats?
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll hear that banger of a song. It's Geelong, not for long, not for long, and it's gonna sing a song. Geelong, 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 let's all get along in Geelong. That's a banger of a song. That is kind of what the lyrics are like, though. They're a good team. I mean, you're kind of in the bottom of the half of the league, but you're a good team. The Gold Coast Suns, though, remember, they got Zito actually zooming into their locker room and giving a motivational speech. You're going to do great, Zito. Aviva Zito's here. Jason McAfee's here. At Evan Foxy's here. Looking fantastic, Foxy. Have a great weekend back in Michigan again.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I'm very excited.
You going up to the lake again?
Going to the lake, get to see the fam, get to see my nephew. I'm very, very excited.
Oh,
for that.
lake life is a real thing up there in Michigan.
Yeah, this one's not Lake Michigan, though. It's just an inland lake, but it is still very nice.
It's just a little baby-ass lake.
It is a baby lake compared to Lake Michigan, yes.
Will you get in there?
Oh, yeah.
Some real chopping
all week.
Fine chop.
Watch for the chop.
I almost drowned last weekend getting out to for some reason I guess I was never a lake guy. That's what I'm learning.
Yeah.
I was a creek boy. Okay, I was in the creek a lot. I was down there in the creek, a lot of creeks. I was never a lake guy. I didn't know, and my dad told me that he had taken me to the lake before, like when I was a kid. I didn't remember it, probably because it was terrible. I mean, when I'm on lakes, it's bad. I go ice fishing. I fell through as a kid. Okay, I literally fell through the ice. My dad had to pull me out. They took all the whole thing. It was a crazy situation. Then I go ice fishing Lake Minnetonka, 4 hours, but I pulled a swordfish out. So I guess it was kind of a good trip at the end. But then this Lake Michigan thing, I had no idea. They have daggers on the bottom of the water for the first, like, I don't know,
100 meters.
half mile, it felt like. And then you swim through a deep end, and then there's like a
sandbar.
A sandbar that's massive out there. It's like perfect almost. But to get there, you got to go through hell. Keep on going, don't slow down. If you're scared, don't show it. You might get out. Oh, the devil even knows you're there. Those rocks were the devil. and we got through there into that sandbar. It was very, very nice.
Yeah.
But I almost drowned 3 times getting out there. Had 2 White Claws in the pocket. They were dragging me down. I am ass heavy. I'm an anchor in the water. I do not float. I have no idea how anybody does that. And you're catching these waves in your face. It was bigger than the wave pool waves that we grew up with. I almost drowned, and I don't think there was a lot of people that are like laughing about. I thought I was dead a couple times. I was very, very, very high as well. I mean, that could have been a bad situation. That's your life, though, up there.
Yeah, Lake Michigan's a beast, Pat. I'm really, really glad you guys enjoyed it, though.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
We had 2 guys on kayaks out there swimming around. We had one guy Titanic a kayak.
Yep.
That was good.
The further north you go, the nicer it gets, too.
Yeah, we were pretty south there, I learned.
For Michigan, yes.
Yeah, we won't go up to UP sometime, though.
Yeah, I'll take
Hey, shout out to the UP.
Shout out UP.
Shout out
Yep.
UP.
Shout out UP.
On the phones, 1-833-622-3331 at Boston Connor, rocking a brand new shirt. How's it going, bub?
Fantastic. I had a wonderful morning. I was actually just ripping farts in Mitt's face all morning. It was fantastic. Feel great today.
What?
You know, I just came into the office, had to take a dump, but I didn't want to do it immediately, so I hung around for a little, and Mitt sat behind me, and he, reaped the unfortunate benefits.
I would like to let everybody know that before we came into the show, Connor told me I was dying laughing earlier to myself about something. And I was like, what's that? He was like, save it for the show. That was it right there?
That was it.
Oh,
I was
my
pissing my
God.
pants, dude.
What? Your bird dogs.
Oh, my bird dog, sorry.
You're peeing your
Bird dogs.
Bird Dog Thursday. Bird Dog Thursday.
Oh, my God.
What did you write on your dry erase board? The pit viper glasses, the mustache, the Elon Musk wrapped head,
Dude, I hurt my knee so
the
bad.
taped on things.
Been
and
there, my friend.
Bird dogs and an injured knee, and you're bragging about farting in somebody's face. You might be straight out of 1984.
Good year. Good year.
What's your dry erase board say? How's that knee, bub? This
oh,
is
it
probably
hurt-
all karma, by the way.
It hurts a lot.
This is all karma coming
I
back.
know. No
You're
more
a thorough.
farting in faces. It's
What
been
was-
too long.
What's the dry erase board say?
If everyone smoked cigarettes, the world would be a better
All right.
place.
See, this guy, he's a bully.
What do you mean?
The world is literally going against cigarettes at the time, which is good for everybody. That Truth initiative, those commercials they put out there.
Oh, yeah.
South Africa actually right now has banned the selling of any tobacco, and I think it's due to COVID-19. But boy, that could potentially be a problem because you got people that just can't get away from the nicotine, like that scumbag back there.
Yeah.
That could be problematic down there in South Africa.
Sup, bro? Yeah. We were smoking cigarettes, and then when you get COVID, it's not good for your lungs. So when you smoke cigarettes, also not good for your lungs. So we just banned them. It was actually that guy with the car company's idea. Elon's idea. Main South African brew.
Great accent.
Good job,
Boy,
Paul.
Tony.
Thanks for taking us to the scene there. You know what I mean? Felt like it took us to the scene.
Tony.
Why? I don't even want to go back to it.
Come on.
And getting an extra day of work today, which nobody would have
guy.
expected.
When'd you get here?
I think he's going to edit videos this afternoon, too. He said he's going to try to learn how to do that.
Let's go, dude.
Big day, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Mullet Mitts here as well. How's it going, Mullet Mitt?
Go.
Going well.
You
Going
came
well.
in bright-eyed, bushy-tailed this morning. As we walked in the studio, you said it's going to be a good day for these minutes. Now, I hope I remember them, but also, that is quite a setup for failure that you're giving yourself at this point.
Well, last time I called my shot, I hit, so that's what I was thinking. Let's go.
Babe Mitt.
Big Thursday today.
Mitt almost broke his neck in our office wrestling ring yesterday.
Thought it was over.
So that's good. All right, let's get into some news. Oh, Nick's here too. That's on me, Nick. At Nick Morota. Sorry, dude.
Just one little thing real quick. It was nice to finally get to experience Lake Michigan after being friends with Foxy for 3 years
Yeah.
and him having a lake house
Yeah.
and never inviting us once.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
not only Lake Michigan, just a lake in Michigan too, because he said he doesn't have Lake Michigan connects or whatever with his lake house. But you're right. It felt like as we met those people around the Lake Michigan in Michigan, they were very proud of being lake people from Michigan.
Yeah.
And I feel like they probably invite all of their friends.
Yeah.
I've been pitching
All the time.
I've
Every
been
weekend.
pitching for every summer. We have Lake Week at the cabin with all the boys.
The only thing you wanted was pond hockey. Remember that you wanted to
did.
go up there for pond hockey?
I
You
also
said,
pitched that.
hey guys, it's negative 15 degrees. Let's go up there now. It's like, boys, we're more of a summertime. Is that not when Lake Michigan and the tiny little lakes up there are awesome? Is in the summer.
Yeah, only Michigan's only awesome in the summer. The whole state.
How many months?
Probably four.
Are those the Finger Lakes?
Four.
No.
No.
Finger Lakes are the homes, right?
I heard they're a good time.
Huron, Ontario,
No, those are the Great Lakes.
Michigan, Erie,
No, the Finger Lakes are the Finger Lakes.
Superior.
Well done. Very well done,
Look
Pat.
at you.
Superior is bigger than Michigan, obviously, because it's the biggest one. It is Superior, but I don't know how, because Lake Michigan looked like a damn ocean this weekend. It had the whole sunset thing where you couldn't see the other side. I've never seen anything like it.
We'll get Lake Weekend. We'll get you guys on the wakeboards, the tubes,
now we're
the
invited.
fishing. I've invited you for 3 straight years.
You haven't.
He's got this lady friend, too. She's been to Lake House like 6 times in the
Yeah,
last.
she's coming too. He's the only one that says yes to me.
He doesn't want to see his dad stumbling around
His
drunk.
dad gets all liquored up and drives around
Oh, we'll
on
be
the boat.
stumbling around with him.
That's probably what it is. Thanks for showing us, Michigan. You, by the way, Foxy lives nowhere near where we were.
No, I've never even been to that.
I had
part.
never been to that part, and anytime somebody had a question, they looked at Foxy,
Yeah.
and Foxy had to act like he knew the answer every time. And it was, I thought to myself, if we were to go to like Hershey, Pennsylvania, which is basically the same distance that Foxy was away from where we were, and people were like, so is Pennsylvania rain? Like, is it normal? That's what we were asking for Foxy, and it's
Yeah.
like, I would have no clue what those answers are, but you were expected to know everything about Lake Michigan this past weekend, and I feel like you did a pretty good job.
I tried, and also it's different on that side of the state because lake effect is real, and in Lansing it's not quite as real.
Beautiful weather up there. It was calling for thunderstorms all weekend, and it was just gorgeous the entire time.
It was good.
I think that's why I would say choppy there, because the moon was getting up there.
Yep.
When the moon hits the lake, it becomes a mistake to your face. It really was. I was getting beat up by these waves, dude. I was trying to keep the head above water, you know? I was trying. At one point, I tried to do the breaststroke. That was like the best.
Yeah.
Breaststroke was the best.
Yep.
But my legs just kept falling because the waves go. So then it turned into a little bit of a doggy paddle.
Yeah.
And what I learned about doggy paddle is that thing takes you under.
It does.
Doggy paddle is not a safe thing.
Almost immediately.
Yeah, almost. So I had to go back. I did breaststroke while upright. Does that make, like my
Yep.
body was like I was, but I was going nowhere. I mean, it was a battle. But when you got to that sandbar,
Oh, yeah.
it was
nice.
beautiful.
It's worth it.
All right, let's get to some things that are happening in the world. Manfred's an idiot. We already talked about that. That's good. St. Kilda took down Carleton this morning, 73-55. St. Kilda is AJ Hawk's team. So we didn't pub that the game was happening this morning because nobody in this particular office has that.
Right.
Tomorrow morning, though, the Magpies of Collingwood, without Steele Sidebottom, serving a 4-game suspension for having too much fun last week, was found shirtless, allegedly, takes on the Ascendant Bombers, I believe is their name. And that is the first team I ever watched play Aussie Rules football right before the sports hiatus stopped. That was the first team that they're the ones that actually brought me into the game. And they're also Michael Lombardi's team. And Lombardi has gone over there and done some advising and consulting for them. So I'm torn. Definitely want the Magpies to kill them, but if Ascending gets a win, no big deal. 5:55 a.m., I believe. I will be up for it, live tweeting it, just like Diggs will be 2:35 a.m. Saturday morning for the Geelong Cats Gold Coast Suns game.
Pretty excited.
Tony, can't wait to follow along with that game. Some people won't even have to watch. They'll just be able to keep up with Diggs' Twitter account, 2:35 a.m. Friday night, Saturday morning, and he will have a running tally on what's happening every moment of that game.
That was my plan.
I have to. It's a huge game because it's Gaz's 350th game, and it's the captain Joel Selwood's 300th game.
Oh, so it's a big celebration.
Huge.
Hey, they're not going to lose that game.
No, can't.
Geelong,
Especially Gold Coast.
By the way, pretty good bet probably on FanDuel right now. You heard there's 2 massive moments happening. 2 big-time players have 2 big-time games. They're probably not going to lose that game. That might be like Super Bowl playoff grand final type atmosphere in their heads. Like, hey, we can't lose our 300th game.
Yeah,
Can you bet if Gaz is going to shank another 15
Whoa.
There was
Boy,
Gaz hasn't missed a sitter since
Nick,
then.
they're going to wet the sails.
Yeah, we're gonna wet the sails and come home with a victory, boys.
All right, let's talk about Antonio Brown real quick. Yesterday, I got into an entire diatribe about, thank you, by the way, for those that said great word, a 10-15 minute diatribe about how Antonio Brown is going to be in a Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey. I said it. Michael Lombardi came on our show and said, hey, expect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to make a big move as well because the New England Patriots or something like that. Or like the New England Patriots won't be the last ones to make a big move here. Look for potentially the Buccaneers to make a move. And I said, Antonio Brown. And he started alluding, He started backing off. But he alluded heavily to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers signing Antonio Brown. Then the next morning, that called for, by the way, we did exactly what ESPN does. We created a story, and then we had people reacted to said story, right? That is, It actually was a moment of pride for us because I've seen ESPN do it 10,000 times. And now that we did it, I was like, I hated when ESPN did that. But now that we did it, kind of cool to be a part of something that just started. So we kind of started that. Then Mad Dog Radio on Sirius, they ran with it as well. They had an inside source. And then I think Bleacher Report tweeted about it. It started going a little bit. Then Diana Rossini came out the next morning and was like, excuse me, my source, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, says they are not interested in Antonio Brown. So my entire take was, if Michael Lombardi is talking to somebody, okay, that could be this person, and Diana Rossini is talking to this person, in the world that we're in, they could very much not be around each other, okay? That is something that could very much happen. But I would assume Michael Lombardi is talking to somebody pretty powerful, and I would assume that Diana Rossini is talking to somebody pretty powerful. And those two people are probably going to have a conversation at some point, and what do we think is going to win out in the end? Good football. That is, in the football business, that is what ends up. Now, granted, Antonio Brown's had a lot of off the field issues. He seems like he is getting back on the right path, and he's an absolute weapon. Be who you can afford to be. He seems like he's getting back in the right thing, and I thought that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could potentially sign him. And we've seen videos earlier this offseason of him talking or training with Lamar Jackson. And we've seen and heard about him training with Dwayne Haskins, allegedly. And then just yesterday, Antonio Brown made a trip to Russell Wilson's backyard and was catching 55, 60-yard bombs in Russell Wilson's backyard. Even going in motion. Hey, this is the play. This is what we call. Right down the middle, seam, boom, shakes white guy who's probably shouldn't be out there and catches the ball with a beautiful ease. A lot of people on Twitter were saying he's slow. What are you talking about? If this and then he was hanging out with Sean Kingston. Sean Kingston out at Santa Fe, California. So now I said that I would bet that Antonio Brown's going to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer this year. Okay, I would like to retract that bet. I'm 100% sure Antonio Brown will play for a team this year. How about that? Good call. I have retracted my bet. I took a buyout. Okay, I took a buyout early. It cost me. Listen, what I said yesterday cost me a little bit. But that feels as if going in motion and doing the whole thing, going to Russell Wilson's house, it feels like just how Tom and Antonio Brown were acting last year whenever he came to the Patriots. Is Russell Wilson potentially becoming like good friend of Antonio Brown, mentor? And is Russell Wilson a guy that Antonio Brown would have enough respect for that he would show up every day and not cause a scene even if he's not getting balls? I think so. I think Antonio Brown plays in the NFL this year, but will it be for the Buccaneers? Will it be for the Seahawks? Will it be for anybody else? Who knows? A lot of Raiders fans not happy he's wearing that helmet. It's like, what do you want him to do? The guy's just trying to get better out there. Raiders fans don't want him to better his life? Oh, okay. Wow. Crazy. But it is weird he's wearing the Raiders helmet on the Seahawks field there. Nonetheless, he looks damn good. Coming out of his breaks, catching the ball. And he's hanging out with Sean Kingston, who only made bangers back in the day before he got into a jet ski accident and everything. Yep. I mean, things are looking up for Antonio Brown right now.
And unlike the Bucs, where Bruce originally said, like, we don't want AB, Pete Carroll, I did believe they kicked the tires on him last year, and they brought in Josh Gordon last year. Like, they're willing to take a chance with Pete being such a player's coach. And also he was thrown with Geno Smith earlier in the year. So I think that might have been like, hey, did great with Geno. Now it's time to step up with Russ.
Oh, no. Ooh. In that Seahawks team, they would need Antonio Brown. Yeah. And that's a team that Russell Wilson that throw rolling left back corner.
Oh my. It's
just next level. I mean, Russell Wilson is a great baseball player.
Fantastic.
Okay? Doesn't get talked about enough.
Elite.
Guy played for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Okay? He played for the Yankees.
Tough to do.
Pinstripes.
Now,
Never earned them. What?
What'd you just say?
Hey, man, played for the Yankees. He sure as hell didn't earn his pinstripes.
Yeah, he did. He has a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he goes every spring training. Guys invited. If you want to go play in a 60-game season that Rob Manfred almost messed up, he would be able to do that tomorrow. You see his arm, the ball's popping out of that thing. But Russell Wilson, I don't know if he and Antonio Brown would have ever been friends before this moment, because Russell Wilson is a little bit of a
eccentric.
He feels. I guess he could be, because we all thought this potentially about Tim Tebow, like fake, right? Like everybody thought Tim Tebow was potentially fake, right? Everybody was like, Tim Tebow. You had to have natural thoughts. Whenever Tim Tebow was on TV for 10 years straight, and he was always like the perfect human, at some point you had to think, that can't be real. That has to be absolute BS. Then we met him. Turns out That is Tim Tebow.
That's very real.
And Tim Tebow changed my thought process on Russell Wilson. Did not do anything for Ty Schmidt, even though Tim Tebow got Ty Schmidt probably 100 million views or something like that.
Love Tim Tebow.
Love Tim Tebow. Yeah. But Tim Tebow changed my thought on Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson just is that guy. Like in the past, I might have said, seems fake, but I think he is just that guy. Go Hawks, upbeat, all that. Like he's never been caught off. And I think that is something that you just have to respect. You might not be able to be friends with a guy like that, right? And I don't think I would ever be able to be friends with a guy that's always like, hey, what do you say? Here we go, clear hearts. Like, I don't know if I could ever be friends with that guy personally, but I think he is a good guy all the time. And I think Antonio Brown is going to learn that. And if he goes up there, boy, they are going to be quite a tag team.
I mean, Phil Dorsett would be their fourth receiver. And I know how much you love Phil Dorsett.
Jets on that guy. Absolute jets on him. I know for the Colts didn't work out. Patriots, he got a Super Bowl. Seahawks, he has jets, though. If he can get into the right system, I watched him in practice just dominate people. And maybe it's he did well for the Patriots, too. At one point, he was the only guy that was catching touchdowns for the Patriots, and that was a cool moment, wasn't it, Connor?
Absolutely. I love that guy.
Phil Dorsett. You love Phil Dorsett.
Phil Dorsett, one of the best. 2 touchdowns against the Steelers.
All right, we got to get to a break. He just literally just took a shot right across the room here. There's no reason to do that.
Trying to, Trying to just throw some darts in there.
Well, you talked about darts on your dry erase board. Probably going to get us taken off of YouTube.
We should go smoke one right now.
No, we shouldn't. Nobody should. You should move on to other things that don't kill
You son of a...
that don't kill you.
Yeah, but I mean, everything does. At this point, there's nothing that won't kill you.
25 minutes after the hour, we got to get to a break. Sean Casey, the mayor, former baseball legend, joins us. MLB Network analyst. We'll talk to him about all things happening in the baseball world. And is Rob he works for the MLB Network, so he can't give us a real answer. Maybe.
We'll see.
Because Rob Manfred is the boss at the MLB Network if it's set up the same way the NFL Network is. Roger Goodell, technically boss of NFL Network, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I run the NFL and a television network as well. $40 million a year.
You want some M&Ms?
We're back on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
For 15 seconds before I hit the anvil. I've been trying to time myself out for 15 seconds. I've never spoken for 15 seconds before. There's no chance. It's a new era for Colts football. All right, let's go. You're all badasses. Thank you all for your service. Have an incredible day out there. It's the safest place in America right now. Holy hell. All right, everybody smile. You're probably not supposed to. Hey, safe travels. We appreciate the hell out of all of you. Go kick ass. Hooah! Hey, the best game in the history of the drumline is going to be today. You guys are going to steal the show and set the How's it going? My name's Pat. I swing a big hammer, and when I talk, people listen. promised a long fucking day. So I had to switch it to damn. When I get going like that, it really catches. Hey, big cold swing today, huh? Another week about to start, Foxy. Triple H texted me, said he enjoyed it. Nice. He said if anybody's making fun of you for the size of your hammer, just tell them it's not the size, it's how you swing it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here, Thursday, July 2nd. Something massive is popping off tomorrow night on the MLB Network. A 7-hour MLB Tonight special starting at 11 a.m. with teams holding their first workouts back. One of the electric personalities that will be a part of that 7-hour marathon of event on MLB Network, the mayor, former baseball legend, Sean Casey.
Yeah! Yeah, what's up, fellas? How we doing?
How's it going, Donner?
It's going good. Dude, I wore my Pittsburgh shirt, bro. Got to represent Plum out there.
Hey, I like it. I had a lot of friends over there at Upper St. Clair. You guys had like a university as a high school over there. Much different than Plum, Sean. Much different. Let's talk about you being awesome. Can we? Everybody that has ever met you and knows me is like, you need to talk to Sean Casey. Not a single person has ever said anything bad about you. That is a good thing, Sean.
Well, I hear the same thing about you, bro. Whenever I go on the local channel here, WDV, they're like, you got to go on. You got to get Pat McAfee and Sean Casey on the same show. So, we finally made it happen. I know John Entz was out there with his own too. But was telling me, that you got to get together with Pat McAfee. So I'm glad we finally connected, bro. I'm glad we finally connected.
Hey, Pittsburgh people, I mean, pretty similar humans. If you're from the Pittsburgh tribe, the Yinzer tribe, you're normally a pretty similar group of people. Sean, let's talk about baseball. Let's talk about the baseball. Dominated the headlines the last couple weeks. I mean, mostly because the commissioner and the players union couldn't get along. They get a deal done, and now spring training starting. You guys got that 7-hour thing tomorrow. It's got to feel good that there's going to be baseball coming back, Sean.
I think it feels great. I mean, I know it feels great for us in the baseball world because, we love baseball. But I think just for, now it's such a crazy time in our, culture with everything that's going on with COVID and everything. So, just to have, baseball back for America, hopefully for something us to get away from, to watch, to enjoy. And, even if it's 60 games, at the end of the day, it's something that we can grab onto and really enjoy.
I talked to Euclid 2 weeks before Hey, good. Hey, that was awesome. I'm happy you jumped in there. Look at this. So I talked to Euclid, and 2 weeks before the deal done, or 10 days before the deal got done, he said, if it's not 80 games, let's not talk about it, right? And then the 60-game deal got done, and I asked him, he was like, I don't care about the 80 games. I'm just happy that there's baseball back. Is that how you felt? Is that kind of how you thought? Because I didn't fully understand why a shortened season was such a big deal for baseball. And then once people started educating me on how rosters are built and pitchers and rotations, and that's a very big deal. This 60-game season is something I think is going to be very different than normal baseball, right?
Well, the cool thing about 60 games is that, I remember being on the Reds in 04, and we turned out to be one of the worst teams in the league that year. But at the break, we were first in the Central. So in a 2.5 month period, we were like, oh my God, we're the best team in baseball. And then all of a sudden, by the end of the year, we're like, oh my God, we're the worst team in baseball, right? So the great thing about the 60 games is it's a sprint. Like you're built as a big leaguer for the marathon. Teams are built for 6 months, but any team could win it for 2 months. And so that's what I kind of like 60 games. You talk about the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Astros. Guess what? You have 2 bad weeks and you're one of the best teams in the game. You're gone. That's just the way it goes. So any team, the Pirates and any
No, Sean.
You never know. The Buccos.
No.
The Buccos could do a 2-month sprint, Pat. And freaking boom, you might see a championship like Bill Mazeroski right here.
I love me Mazeroski down there, but I think that Nutting family will figure out a way to ruin it if they are doing good. I think they'll figure out a way. They'll throw a money bag on the ball somehow and ruin the entire. Let's talk about the Pirates. Why do they stink? What is why is it? Because I grew up in Pittsburgh, okay, and like you. 20-some years of losing seasons, okay? Then they get that hot season with McCutcheon, and they start selling out. I mean, PNC Park was selling out every single night, and then they're like, you know what? Let's ruin it. Why does that happen? Why does that happen in baseball, Sean?
Let's ruin it. Let's ruin it. Oh man, you know what? I think. Well, first off, they did a great job of player development. They had some great. They had the pitching staff. I mean, they really did. They had the horses. At the end of the day, Major League Baseball, either you got the guys on the bump every 5th day or you don't. And I think for those years they did. They had a good bullpen. Clint Hurdle brought a positive energy to that crew. I don't know if you were at that wild card game when they were chanting Cueto and he dropped the ball and the place went absolutely nuts.
Oh,
what I mean? And Russell Martin homered. And I Pat, too, like, everyone feels Pittsburgh's such a big Steeler town, but man, you go back to the days of Clemente and Stargell and Maz and those guys. Like this is a Bucko town. This is a Pittsburgh town. So I think the losing was frustrating for people that were watching it. That live here in the city. But I just think it's there is something about being in a smaller market and having to. Really be good at player development and really be good at the free agents that you sign.
I missed this earlier in the intro, but happy birthday, Mayor.
Yeah!
Another trip around the sun,
you.
Sean.
Thank you.
Another trip around the sun. Congratulations, the big 30. Okay, now you're living. Whenever you were growing up, were you always baseball?
Oh, you know what? I was always baseball, but I was football too, because you got to be, if you're from Pittsburgh, you got to try football. I didn't go to the NFL like you did and dominate, but I remember my freshman year in high school. They're like, I played on the freshman team. They're like, all right, Casey, like get in there on goal line defense, and it was like one of those things where like I was like a bigger kid. I was more like heftier, like too many McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
So I wasn't like.
Oh.
Yeah, so I wasn't strong, but I was bigger. So like get down there and goal line defense. And I remember getting my 4-point stance. Helmet didn't fit. I'm down like this. They hike the ball, boom, against Baldwin. I get pancaked. I'm laying there, running back steps on my chest. I'm like, oh my God, I can't breathe. So I was so mad. I grabbed the guy, pulled him down on me, that pancaked me, broke my wrist, out for the season. No more football ever again. So then I started playing baseball.
Okay. Hey, it worked out. It absolutely worked out. What position did you play?
In baseball?
Yeah.
I was a first baseman because I couldn't. I wasn't I couldn't throw that great, and I didn't run well, but I could hit. And then that's where they put you at first. So I dominated.
Were you switch hitter or lefty, righty? What were you?
No, I threw righty, but I batted lefty. I couldn't. Yeah. And now I golf righty. I'm a mess.
Hey, me too. I think me too. I played a game for the Washington Wild Things. You know the Washington Wild Things. Yeah, outside.
I know the Washington Wild
I played right field. It was the first time in my life I ever played baseball. So my dad didn't let me play baseball. First time ever. Started in right field for the Washington Wild Things. Then I always assumed, because I golf righty, I play hockey righty, I throw righty, I assumed I was a righty. So I get into, I didn't take any BP really until right the day of the game. So I hit righty. I make contact all 3 times. Okay, make contact.
That's good.
Yeah, not bad, thank you. But I think we've learned though that I'm a lefty. Like I think I'm a lefty. So I need another shot at that damn thing. I really do. What is it about hitting that made you a good hitter? You could just see the ball? Is that what it is?
You know what? I think there's definitely something to be said about eye-hand coordination. Like I knew I always had really good eye-hand coordination. Like just playing ping pong in the basement when I was 12, I'm like, man, I got elite eye-hand coordination. I'm returning everything. This is unbelievable, right? So that was the first time I realized, hey, I got a shot. But I think there's just something about that eye-hand coordination, and when you get to that level of the big leagues, or even moving up, like it's really getting so visual and being able to slow the game down and let the ball travel and then just squaring it up. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's a skill you just got to work on every day. And now that you're lefty, go back to the Wild Things, bro. Maybe you hit a couple doubles in the gap.
Excuse me.
And your claim to fame isn't just, hey, I put 3 balls in play. Like, I want some hits. I want hits.
Excuse me, got on base. Billy Bean would have signed me. I got a 333 on base percentage because of an overthrow. I take credit for that. And also, the Washington Wild Things, they're going to have to come to the negotiating table because the Birmingham Barons, Birmingham Barons have got into the conversation. I go from Frontier League to AA in my first 2 ever baseball games, potentially. I'm pumped for it, Sean.
You went from South Hills Fed League to AA.
All right. All right. Take it easy. South Hills is a part of Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh, by the way. Because you were such a good hitter, and you were around for a long time, now you're part of the MLB network, this hiatus that has happened since the last spring training, and then there's going to be a shortened spring training here to come back in and the games. Who does it favor? And when I asked Euclid, he was like, he has no idea. He thinks it's going to be like an individual case-to-case basis. But as a hitter, do you think like earlier in the year it's a lot harder to hit, or do you have to find a groove, or do you think hitters will be able to find it early and the pitchers won't be able to find it here?
I think the big thing with baseball is, when you go to spring training, it's unbelievable. You're hitting all off season, you're raking, you're hitting off the machines, maybe some BP. And then you get into that first day of live BP where you're facing like a legit pitcher, and you're facing your number 5 starter, and he throws a fastball. You're like, boom! You're like, oh my God, I feel like Pat McAfee in the
all right, man, take it easy.
No, but you start to think like, no, man, like those first couple days of spring training when you're facing live pitching, the pitchers definitely have the advantage. But I do think that the players will have a spring training. And come opening day 1, the hitters will be ready to face those pitchers. I think it'll be an even matchup, no doubt about it.
Who was a pitcher you loved facing?
Oh man, I loved facing Jose Lima. Rest in peace.
Oh yeah.
Jose Lima would just, he would just poop it right up there for me. Just right, about 92 miles an hour, right down the middle. Boom! You could put some barrel on it. It was great.
Rest in peace to Jose. Yeah. This man's passed away. I can't even ask him for his rebuttal to this. Have a little respect.
He was the best. He was the best.
Yeah, there's another one. Sean, are you kidding me? The mayor. Yeah. You work for the MLB network now. And I don't know if the MLB network was one of the original ones, but now every major league has their own network. I did some work at the NFL network whenever I was still playing, and Roger Goodell is the boss there. Roger Goodell is the boss of the NFL network. Is that the same with the MLB network with Rob Manfred? Is he the boss over there? And do you guys ever hear from the MLB for anything you say or do, or the restrictions? Because I know the NFL network has some stuff like, hey, this is what we definitely can't, we got to do. There's some of that. But is it the same for the MLB network as well?
Well, Rob Manfred, obviously MLB Network, we're owned by Major League Baseball. So at the end of the day, Manfred probably is the ultimate boss. I think Tony Batiti, who's Rob Manfred's right-hand man, started MLB Network. And Rob McGlary, who's there now, is really our boss at the network. But yeah, I'd say Manfred, no doubt about it. But I think they do a good job. They let us be us, our own personalities. and let us have our opinions. And there's not many times that they'll really say anything to us that censors us for anything that we say.
This is what
unless you get really crazy.
Well, this is what I want you to say tomorrow during that 7-hour thing. Rob Manfred is the worst commissioner in the history of professional sports. Just say it, Sean. Just say it. If it's not a big deal, just say it. Sean, just say it.
You might be next.
Just say it. You never know, Sean.
I can't say that. I can't say that. And I tell you what, I know everyone has their opinions, and I know Rob very well. I mean, but at the end of the day, the relationship with the union and the commissioner's office has always been one where you got to kind of figure things out, and you're always negotiating. And obviously it probably looked bad in the public opinion, but at the end of the day, Rob works for those owners, and Tony Clark and those guys work for the union, and they try to come together and figure out what's best for baseball. And 60 games is what they came up with.
So because Manfred came out and said that he wasn't going to go anywhere near more 60 games, which could potentially be negotiating in bad faith, which could become a grievance. We won't even dive into that. But because there's 162 games, guaranteed contracts, lot of money, is the relationship between the union and the MLB, and you wouldn't know because you're not in the NFL, but for us, the relationship for the NFL Players Association and the NFL, it only comes up once every 10 years. Whenever the new CBA, you don't really hear much else. Whatever's done there, okay, we'll be upset if Roger Goodell does something, but then it's ultimately well, that was the CBA we agreed to. Is there always something happening between the MLB Players Association and the MLB because of how much money, guaranteed money, and is there a little bit more drama automatically built in because of that?
I think so. I mean, like any big business, it's a $1 billion industry. So I think there's always, we're lucky we have unions where, that you have, people that could, fight for your rights, as far as from the player's point of view. But hey, at the end of the day, like I said, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And, I think it's the same way as it was in the NFL. There's always going to be a little tension there to try and figure out that middle ground for what works both for best for both parties.
Sean, we got to get to a break on radio. Will you stick around on YouTube?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay, let's get to a break on radio. We'll see you on the other side to wrap up hour one. Sean Casey, the mayor, will join us and continue to talk to us at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. There we go. Hey, Sean! Woo, woo! Hey, who's going to win it all this year? Who's going to win it all, Sean? Early prediction, money down. Who's going to win it?
Wow.
Because you said in your little rant earlier, you're like, Yankees have a bad week, they're out. Dodgers they're out.
That's true. I literally think the greatest thing about 60 games is it's unheard of for players even. They've never been in this, have had this opportunity because every game is going to be like a playoff game. And what it's going to do is it's going to expose some managers too, as far as that goes.
How?
Because think about this: when you're in the postseason and how managers use their bullpens, how managers use guys that they have to pinch hit for. Openers nowadays are a bigger deal. Hey, do we start this guy for 2 innings and then do a bullpen matching game? So in the postseason, you say, oh man, that manager he managed well. Over 162, sometimes you're just throwing your horses out there. Boom, you got your guys every night, and it just plays itself out. In 60 games, that manager and the strategy is going to matter more than it has. So it's going to expose who are the good and bad managers.
You got to be cerebral out there.
Sean, you mentioned the openers. Do you think, because the Rays did that a lot last year, do you think more teams will do that on the shortened season? Like more openers will become more of a thing?
Oh, I definitely think so. Because think about it, a lot of the teams that don't have the money to have the great staffs, right? That don't have those 5 horses. Maybe they have 2, right? Maybe they have 2 guys. So all of a sudden, maybe they got a pretty good bullpen. So later in the rotations, oh man, you know what? When we get to our 4th starter, we don't have the 4th starter. We start with an opener. We do a bullpen by committee game, and all of a sudden those games start to add up. You got a good bullpen. I think you're going to see more teams in the 60 games use an opener. The way that Tampa Bay did, the way Oakland did, no doubt about it.
You told me that the modern pitchers, the younger pitchers, they're not trying to do complete games. They're out there throwing mud, was his exact words, which I guess mud is fastball. I learned that little baseball lingo. Do you think you're going to see pitchers throwing longer or shorter in more repetition, more starts, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think he's right. I think you're seeing more. You're not seeing a lot of guys go 3-4 times through the lineups. You're seeing max effort, guys throwing a little harder. Maybe they go 5-6 innings, and then you bring in the bullpens. Because, I think people realize how important bullpens are, especially in this 60-game season. You can really do that more. I think Yuke's right when he says that you're going to see guys 5-6 innings, and you're going to see the starters getting out of there.
Is Frank Thomas at the MLB Network?
No, he's with Fox, but Frank is a big man, large human, and just a wonderful guy. And greatest players ever.
I was going to ask about Nugenics. Sean, we do have to talk about utilizing supplements because your sport loved it. Your sport absolutely loved it.
Yeah, your sport doesn't love it.
No, Sean. Sean, we don't talk about it over here. But listen, it might happen, but we don't talk about it. The culture of baseball, I'm so intrigued by it because you live like rock stars. You're on the road, right? And then it feels like the culture is like however you can get a little bit of an advantage. And then when the game had to change, whenever Congress cracked down or whoever came in, and George Bush, who was an owner of one of the teams and also president, said, we have to take this out of the game. Was that a massive change up for the culture of baseball? Because it feels like, and they weren't even testing for some stuff back in the day. So it's not like they were promoting it, but they also weren't like, hey, don't do it. And it felt like, I think when you listen to Alex Rodriguez talk about it or anybody else talk about it, they're like, there's a lot of money on the line, and you're looking around, you see a lot of people on stuff, and you're like, well, fuck, if I take it, maybe I'll get a chance to get. Is that kind of how it was back in the day?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I don't think as many guys took it as you think.
Really?
I think there's no doubt about it. No, I mean, I was in the locker rooms, obviously, and you still saw a lot of baseball bodies, you know what I mean? You're like, okay, that guy's definitely not doing it. It was the guys that came back from 4 months of the off season, and you go, you put on 40 pounds of muscle. I'm just wondering. I worked out every day with a personal trainer. I put on 2 pounds. I wouldn't know how you put on 4. That's what I know, but there was. I feel like those guys were few and far between. I think it's when you see the superstar players doing stuff that you go, now that's different. They were already superstars, and now they're at a different stratosphere, of abilities. So I don't know, Pat. Like I really think like. I know I played in that steroid era, if you want to call it that, but I don't think as many guys were on it as people think. It just, but I do think there were some elite players that were on it that went to another level.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here for the radio listeners that just came back. Sean Casey just told us that he took all of the steroids.
I was the guy that needed it. I took the protein shakes. I should have, it's unbelievable. Just kidding.
Bryson DeChambeau drank 9. He's drinking 9 protein shakes a day right now. It's insanity. Sean Casey did not say that, by the way. I just want to know what you said.
A guy that didn't need it. What was it like playing with Ken Griffey Jr.? Was he just the best hitter of all, like that you've ever been around?
Dude, that's sweet.
You know what? It was the sweetest swing you've ever seen in your life, and just I always joke around. A couple quick stories. Like, so Griff, one of those guys never in the weight room, and you're like, how's this guy do it? You know what I mean? Like, you're wondering how's he so strong, right? And I remember one day I was going to the training room. He was coming out of the training room. We kind of met in the hallway, and it was like a small hallway. And we just like kind of bumped, and I was like, you want to go? He's like, let's get it on. So next thing you know, me and Griff are in the hallway. No one's around. We start grappling. I throw him in like a half Nelson, boom, we shoot. Maybe a headlock, and I'm giving him a noogie or something like that, And next thing I know, like Griff had this big thing. He would always come up to you like he was Spock, and he'd hit you with like the Vulcan death grip. And you're like, you're in the dugout. Like, gee, it's unbelievable, right? So he would hit you with these pressure points. So we're wrestling one day, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm jacked, I'm lifting all this stuff, and Griff doesn't really lift. Next thing you know, he takes his fingers like this. He shoots them under my rib cage, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never felt this kind of pain in my life. And he picks me up like I'm a 4-year-old little kid, and he pins me against the wall like this. Boink! And I'm 240, and I'm just like, oh my God. And I'm like in so much pain. I'm like, let me down, Griff, let me down. He's like, are we done? I'm like, we're done. Let's never wrestle again. I was like, that must be how you hit 630 homers with that kind of strength.
So he's just the smoothest, coolest dude of all time is what everybody said about him. And he was hyped up to be that guy, and then he gets put in that position, and then he lives up to it without any drama, with just doing everything the right way, no steroid talk or anything like that. And to be honest, it kind of reminds me of LeBron. right? Like LeBron was hyped up for his entire life, and then he gets in there, and somehow being on top of the world, he has done a magnificent job of staying away from any distractions and building everything up. It felt like Ken Griffey Jr. was that same guy. He was built up to be this dude, and then he was everything that everybody expected him to be.
It's kind of funny that, I met LeBron James when he was 18 years old before he even went into the NBA because he loved Griff. Griffey was like his idol. So it's not surprising to see their careers kind of parallel each other as far as that goes. Griff was, man. I mean, listen, he was Michael Jordan when he came to the Reds. And, when he went out, he lived a different life. Like, when we walk outside the hotel, it was like bees to honey. Boom! It was unbelievable. Like, it must have been crazy to be him because, like, everywhere he went, boom, bees. You know what I mean? It was like he was the queen.
We'll see you next hour.
What I mean?
Yeah. Radio, we're going to radio. We'll see you in the second hour. Sean Casey continues with us. Radio just went to a hard out there. I'm a great radio host. He's an absolutely great radio host, Sean. I'm so bad. But Jesus. I don't even know where to go from there. I don't even know where to go.
Well, I got one more thing about Griff.
Let's
I remember, you always wonder, man, how is this guy so good? And one day I went out to hit early, and I started to realize he hits early. Griff used to hit early every day by himself. And when I go out to take batting practice, I might shoot one to left, shoot a couple to left, shoot a couple to center, shoot a couple to right. Now, his batting practice is he's going home runs to left, home runs to center, home runs to right. Like, he was working on driving the ball. Like, his batting practice was never like, let me flip one to left and center. It was like, let me drive it out of the ballpark, left, center, and right. It was phenomenal to watch. Phenomenal.
This makes me think about how Sammy Sosa said the court to bat was used for batting practice and not for the. I'm not saying Ken Griffey ever would do that, and I like the fact that Ken Griffey turned batting practice into a home run derby every fucking day. That makes me like him even more. But Sammy Sosa got caught up in that court to bat thing where is a BP bat that he accidentally used in a game was his excuse. What does a court to bat do? It's just lighter so you can swing it fast. Like, what is a court? How does that help?
Yeah. I think so, and I never corked the bat, but there's different ways to do it. But I heard some people would cork it and then stick like rubber balls in there, then boom, and it would act like it would almost act like a rubber ball off your bat. That's what the action does.
What's those practice bat
fungos?
So it's like a fungo. They turn the bat
It's
almost
like a
into
fungo. Yeah, it's like a fungo. It just jumps off the bat, and it's crazy. I've never seen anybody cork a bat. I know Sosa got busted doing it, but
do you think he was doing it is that why he was in the race with Mark McGwire aside from everything else?
I don't. I like to think not, but I don't know.
Thank you.
That and the juice.
So he had rubber balls inside of his
No
bat
balls were found in that
with
bat.
steroids as well.
No balls were found in that bat.
Listen, I'm not going to bash Sammy Sosa. The Chicago Cubs have already ruined everything about that guy.
Oh,
Chicago Cubs have already tried to bury him as much as possible. I'm not going to say it, but that is pretty damning evidence there. That
The bat was planted. Everyone knows the bat was planted.
He's a big Cubs fan. Sean, happy birthday. I mean, this was amazing. You were amazing. Everything that they said about you, 100% accurate. I would love to talk to you again.
Dude, you're the best, Pat. I love your show, bro. Love that you're from the Berg, and I'll see you guys again soon. Hope we'll do it again.
Do you still live in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I'm in Pittsburgh right now. I'm in Upper St. Clair right now.
What are you guys going to do for 7 hours? You're just going to sit on a Zoom call tomorrow?
Yeah, probably. We'll just be bouncing in and out and try and bring as much awesome baseball stuff to the guys as everybody as possible.
Go ahead and sneak in there, Rob Manfred, big stooge. Do it, Sean. I'm sorry. You taught me. I don't think he's a stooge anymore after talking to Sean Casey. So, Rob, give this man a raise if you can. Ladies and gentlemen, from Pittsburgh, 3 times All-Star, electric human, happy birthday, Sean Casey.
Thank you.
You're awesome. Hey, he was awesome.
Electric.
It stinks that Manfred just eats his feet for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because these baseball players are nuclear weapons.
Awesome.
Great guys.
Fucking Sean Casey. How about whenever he was like, boom?
Yeah, I mean, that was. Imagine him in a dugout.
Bro, he was looking, he was in the camera like this at one point. I fucking love that guy.
I'm not sure I've ever seen the chat so positive.
Yeah, so many electric bolts in the chat.
Oh, my God.
We're like, is this Pat's real dad?
He's from a very nice part of town, is what is what I was alluding to early in that conversation. I had a lot of friends over in Upper St. Clair. Very nice people, very good people. But boy, their real estate was an incredible one whenever I drove over there. I used to think I was driving into Lifestyles of Rich and Famous whenever I was heading over to my friend's house that were over there I played soccer with. I was like, holy fuck, people live like this on an everyday basis? They did. But I'm happy hey, Pittsburgh guy right there.
Yeah.
Through and through.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Ken Griffey doing BP. You know, I'll shoot one out the left. The whole fucking thing. Oh, I loved him. All right, I got 45 seconds here? I got to go take a leak before we get back for the second hour. I love that man.
He could rake, too.
Yeah, he was good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Very much so.
I'm on an email list that I can't unsubscribe from, so I just had to send an email saying, kindly remove me from this. I feel like a terrible person.
Nah, it's a good guy move, actually.
Because I said kindly at the beginning.
Correct.
It's like a with all due respect.
Exactly. Hey, no offense.
How you doing?
Keep it moving.
I can't pee. We got 20 seconds now. I wasted it. Hey, by the way, this beer, very good from our guy, Euclid.
It is delicious.
I haven't had it, but Ty did have the Mexican lager.
Yep, that one right there, yep.
And you said it's unbelievable,
Yeah,
right?
it's very good.
Loma Brewing Company. Shout out to Euclid. Baseball people are incredible.
They're the best.
Good morning, beautiful people. It is Thursday, July 2nd, 2020. Big day, a lot of sports talk. Let's get to it. All the boys are here at Nick Moraldo, at Tone Diggs, at Ty Schmidt, at Jason McAfee something, Viva Lazito, Evan Foxy, and with one of the worst messages I've ever seen written on a dry erase board, at Boston Connor is on the phones.
I don't know if it's the worst ever. I think there's some good points that I could place here, but, I digress.
No, you could put some good points up there, but you chose not to.
That is a good point.
Nope. No, it's actually scientifically and universally known that that is not a good point, actually.
Well, I mean, for health maybe, but when you think about the benefits of the conversations of the Cigarette Corner Cigarette Talk, similar to the late night conversations our good friend Chris Herron was talking about.
So you think those were good?
The Cigarette Talks, some of the most honest people you ever get, and you meet some of the greatest people you ever see.
No, those people are just lying to you because they're just inhaling something that's just potentially killing them from the inside.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Putting tar into your lungs isn't a recommendation of mine, but it will solve.
Kind of is.
Well, it will solve a lot of problems
if people talk to each other.
Yeah, and smoke cigs.
I don't even know if we're allowed to have that on the show.
I don't think you can.
Like, I don't even think what we just did is even allowed. Like, we might get banned from YouTube for your
Definitely
stupidity.
are not allowed to promote
it wouldn't be the first time. You tried to take us down off terrestrial radio, too, a few times. You remember that?
Yeah.
Old buddy was just throwing the F word around as much as he could.
Yeah, he did a lot.
Yeah, getting Don in trouble over there.
Sorry,
You could get a Marlboro sponsorship.
I don't think we're allowed.
You're not allowed.
I don't even think you're allowed.
Really?
That's how terrible it is. You're not even allowed to get a sponsorship from them.
No.
They've never had the conversations I've had.
And I'm thankful for that. And I am thankful for that.
I feel bad for them.
Elon Musk right there on your head. Big news out of Elon Musk world. He now owns a car company, Tesla, that is the most valuable car company on earth. To talk about real life things that we should probably talk about in the world, our friend News Nick.
Thank you, Pat. The news that we should talk about, because we are a real show in a real life world, is brought to you by Manscaped.
Yeah, it is. Shave your balls.
And we all know Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
Yep.
Go to manscaped.com. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code AMERICA.
Okay, let's get to it. Happy birthday, America, this weekend. We will have off tomorrow, by the way, if you're just joining our show. We will not be here. Like extendo weekend for the boys.
Extendo.
I'm
You
sleep
mentioned
in very hard, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Diggs can't because he's got to be up at 2:35 a.m. to watch the Geelong Cats play the Gold Coast Suns on Saturday morning. Diggs will be tweeting the entire time. Zito will probably wake up and read through them and see how his team did. Intern Mid is also here. Let's get back to the news, Nick.
You mentioned Elon Musk. Well, Tesla has surpassed Toyota to become the world's most valuable automaker. The shares of Tesla rose to $1,135 a share, bringing the company overall value to $206 billion.
This son of a bitch is an alien, right? I mean, this is how does this happen? Okay, he's been a billionaire like 4 times over with 4 different companies with different technology. His flamethrower thing would have made $1 billion, but they stopped making it because he had to focus on building a rocket ship for NASA to use. So Elon Musk is an alien. How do you somehow, in the world that we're in, create a car that's faster than every other car, more efficient than every other car, and as affordable as every other car, while just dropping in and making it completely safer for the world type of car. How do you hit all of those at the same time while also building rockets to go to space, flamethrowers, tunnel builders, everything else he's ever done? There's no way this dude has a human brain. This is an alien. Elon Musk is an alien, and I'm thankful that our alien, okay, if there's one of these in every country, I'm not 100% sure, or 100, I'm happy that America's alien, because he came from South Africa, is just an absolute baller. He had to change, the entire automotive industry had to catch up to him, and they're years behind. There's still not a single car that can keep up with the P85D, which I have in my garage right now. That son of a bitch gets me car sick every time I'm in it. I don't know how this guy has created all this, but I'm thankful he is. And now he's taking down every single car factory. This is insanity at this point. What is it? Model T was the first one? Model A, I assume, is the first car.
Model T was the original back with the Fords, I believe.
Yes.
1920-ish.
And there's a story that Dodge actually, Dodge was the motor builder.
Oh, yeah.
Dodge would build the motors for the Ford cars. Then some dispute happened, and then Dodge said, you know what, we'll build our own cars. Then Dodge and Ford started battling, and then Detroit was made into the Motor City down there. And then a guy, an alien from South Africa, comes in and says, listen, everything you guys have been doing for 100 years or whatever, completely wrong. We're going to make this thing plug into the house, and it's going to be faster, quicker than anything you can make all over the globe. Makes no sense that he's been able to do this, but good for Elon Musk, just raking in cash yet again. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Isn't their market cap now higher than like Coke and like Apple, Disney?
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
He's swimming in money, and Johnny Depp hates him.
Hanging out with Kanye West, too.
And he's hanging out with Kanye. So, I mean, I think, is that what happens? Because I think Kanye just announced that Kim was a billionaire as well.
Yes, he did.
So they are just in that billionaire society. Go ahead, Nick.
What?
News.
Oh, well, okay. We're just moving on. We're just
Yeah.
gonna blow right by that.
Well,
Move on.
we have to.
Keep it moving. Hey,
Don't
how
do
you
it.
doing?
Don't
How you
do
doing?
it.
How you doing?
Keep
Get out of
it
it.
moving. We're not talking about that. I'm not saying it. Literally, last time I mentioned anything about this,
Don't do it.
we got our show taken off of YouTube.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Well, Epstein's lady got arrested. So, I don't know. Is this news? Are we doing news or not? Are we in the middle of the real world news right now?
We are.
We are. Okay.
are, yeah.
Go ahead, Nick. You're up next.
Vanilla Ice.
That could be massive, by the way. I watched the doc. I watched the doc. I don't know who made the doc, but I watched the doc. The fact that lady is now potentially going to have to speak. Maybe that's why Elon's building rockets.
Could be.
Get him the hell out of here.
A lot of skeletons. In that
Oh, my. Sorry.
Trying to do some serious news here.
Well, this is the most serious. This is the most serious. But look, our show's probably getting taken down off of YouTube right now as we speak.
Still up.
Just want to let you guys know, we don't know anything about anything. We are absolute idiots. We just got sent this message from Nick earlier in the group text. And if it's in here, everybody knows I don't have a filter. I'm going to say it. And we just so happen to be in a point where it came up. So everybody knows my brain is like you're running through guys' grocery games. You're sprinting down there and just grabbing things that have been put in there before the show. Nick, you put that in the show, potentially ruin the show. But Epstein's lady just got arrested this morning.
All right, glad we covered that. Vanilla Ice will perform for thousands in Texas where coronavirus cases are surging. Vanilla Ice said, I can't wait to get back to this. The 90s were the best. We didn't have coronavirus or cell phones or computers. We had 5.0s, Blockbuster, Beavis and Butthead, Wayne's World, Chris Tucker, and Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat is still better than Fortnite.
Green
the
Day.
last of the great decades.
Yeah, and then he also, Beavis and Butthead's back, by the way.
is.
They're going to be on Comedy Central. That's probably going to be interesting to watch from nowadays from what it was back then.
assume so.
I didn't watch Beavis and Butthead, but I have seen some clips, and I'll be excited to see how it plays in 2020. But Vanilla Ice is back and Beavis and Butthead's back. How you doing? Keep it moving. How you doing? Keep it moving. Chase Rice they're still canceling Chase Rice for his concert in Tennessee this last weekend.
Really?
Yeah, so
Can
he
you
had
really
to come.
cancel Vanilla Ice at this point?
Absolutely not.
Well, what he does with home design and remodeling of houses, next level. I mean, Rob Van Winkle, what's your real name? Rob Van Winkle. Why'd you change your name? Nothing rhymes with Winkle. Dance. Sprinkle actually does rhyme with Winkle.
Yeah.
But
Tinkle.
he's a home remodeler now.
Oh, yeah, DIY.
DIY. And if he's getting back in the rap game, that's good news, especially because Suge Knight's in jail, right? Because didn't...
Yeah, he ran over a guy.
Yeah. and killed him.
Oh yeah.
And it's alleged that he actually held Vanilla Ice over the thing and made him sign over the rights to Ice Ice Baby, which is tough, which is why he had to start remodeling house, had to go into construction business, took that over. Now he's getting back in the rap game. It just so happens to be in the middle of a pandemic, probably not going to be received well.
Well, it was interesting because when he did Ice Ice Baby, obviously we all know it went ding, 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 ding.
Oh, yeah. And then that other one goes ding, 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 ding. You know what I mean? And those are two very, very different beats. What, anything else happening?
Yeah, the two Los Angeles teams, the LA Chargers and the LA Rams, made a joint announcement on Wednesday. They now have the largest video scoreboard in the world.
Wow.
It is a 2.2 million pound, 70,000 square foot behemoth that officials say boasts more than 80 million pixels.
Okay, so this thing is potentially the reason why this original build was supposed to be $2 billion and now it's $7 billion,
Could
right?
be.
You go into Best Buy, Costco, any of these things. I bought a 3D television. It was like $7,000, and that thing was about the size of that. I mean, it was just like maybe a 50-inch thing. I couldn't even fathom, and I assume this is going to be the nicest television maybe in all of Los Angeles, and it happens to be the biggest. That is rather expensive, but that stadium's looking good. Not as good as Allegiance Stadium or whatever it is in Las Vegas, but that SoFi Stadium looks damn good. These stadiums of the future look really, really cool, and I think a lot of English Premier League, like soccer stadiums, are kind of built in this more like modern fashion. I'm happy that we're kind of evolutionizing into that, but I like the old gladiator, old brick and mortar stadiums, but I think those are going to be a thing of the past like 10 years from now.
Unfortunately.
What's that?
I mean, you're just not going to have any of the Coliseums anymore.
Yeah, it's going to be they look like spaceships. That one in Las Vegas looks like a spaceship.
Yes.
Which it could be, by the way, because the Pentagon released 5 UFOs. It could be one of them. I mean, oh my God. Don't even want to get into it. Anything else? Anything else, Nick? Anything else?
Nope, that's it, unless you want to talk about hockey.
Oh, let's talk about hockey. Let's get back into sports. What's going on in hockey? It sounds like the NHL and the NHLPA, from the very beginning of this entire quarantine, sports hiatus, and since they've already been paid mostly, the NHL and the NHLPA have had a good relationship, good conversations for a return to play.
Which is wild.
Which is wild because hockey has had work stoppages before, strikes, lockouts.
3 of them.
3 of them. So this is a big deal. So whenever they were able to put it together when other leagues seemed to be struggling, it was very eye-opening, I think, to a lot of people. They even rolled out a 24-team tournament that they were thinking about doing, kind of test the waters. That was well received. So then Bettman goes on NHL Network, announces that they're doing it. We don't know where, we don't know when, we don't know how, but this is what we're doing. And in most cases, the players would be like, well, this guy's a stooge, okay? We have not agreed to anything. We don't know where it's going to be. We don't know how the rules are going to be. We don't know the mask. But now these behind closed doors conversations that have been happening between the NHL and the NHLPA have made them save face, because I assume there has been the same gripes that the MLB and the MLB Players Association had, but that was all happening publicly. That was all happening behind closed doors. And the NHL has handled this from a PR standpoint, maybe the best out of any league. And that is a very, very massive statement whenever you think about how poorly the NHL is at PR. And now it's being said that the players are potentially going to be allowed to play in the Olympics again, which is great for the United States, great for Canada, and obviously Russia too. This is good for Russia too. I mean, you got to think about the Russia. Ovechkin scored a goal. Jaromir Jagr playing for the Czech still. But the NHL seems to be handling this in proper fashion. And I would assume that Rob Manfred and the boys are looking at what Bettman and the hockey players are doing. And they're like, don't you guys normally mess this thing up? It's not our turn. Why don't you do it? And they have not done it yet. And it sounds like they're going to come to an agreement today is what they're saying.
Yeah, as a fan, it's almost scary to watch this unfold because you keep waiting for the gotcha moment where they screw this all up and just totally screw the pooch. But it seems like they've got a tentative agreement that they're going to vote on hopefully either Friday or Saturday. Like you said, the Olympics were a big thing for the owners. The owners did not like the players going to the Olympics because the owners get nothing out of it.
Small-sided, stupid. They do get something out of it.
Financially.
They get something financially for it. They get exposure for a game for people that maybe would never, ever, ever watch the NHL, which is a large part of the United States, because a large part of the United States don't have a hockey team or an ice rink in town to even ice skate, so they don't even think about the sport. And the Olympics have that playoff atmosphere a lot of the time. It's the best type of hockey. So whenever they said, oh, players can't play in the Olympics, I thought it was the most short-sighted business decision I'd ever heard in my entire life, because they're not getting immediate money in their pockets, and there's a chance that these players could get hurt, which are I understand your massive investments in it, but for the sport long term, there's a lot of people that never watch an NHL game that would watch an Olympic game, especially if it's on primetime television. That just felt like a very stupid thing for the sport of hockey, but look at them. They're handling this properly. They're getting them back in the Olympics, thinking big picture style. The NHL is doing things right now, and it's unbelievable because of how bad Rob Manfred has looked in this entire thing.
And I said this on That's Hockey Talk, new podcast episode out today. It's an interesting point. It's an interesting point that you're not seeing many leaks out of these discussions. You're not hearing what the owners want or what the players want, but it's very interesting to see the owners give up the Olympics to the players and also pay them the $300 million they owed them in signing bonus and salaries on July 1st. You're not hearing any real demands from the players. So it's almost like the owner's like, okay, we'll give you what you want. Just come back and play.
Yeah. And
just come back and play.
But hockey's going to be a sport, by the way. I don't know how they'll handle the chirping and the potential swearing on the ice. But that could be cool without fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The whole thing, the big hits, the clap bombs that I like to hit. You know, some
refs
people-
talking
Tape to
trash.
tape pass. That is a good sound.
That's going to be a good. Now, granted, fans in there, it is an awesome environment. I can completely agree. But just like the UFC without fans, will survive. They will survive. Hey. 13 minutes after the hour, we got to get to a break. Shout out to the NHL for figuring that out. Shout out to us for being a live sports show and also giving you the news that you need to know about. I'm not going to say it again. We rolled the dice earlier.
Yeah, don't do it.
It's massive. It's very big.
Big news. Huge news.
She's just been kind of hanging out for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody thought she was safe when she just got the FBI around. The internet will be popping this weekend.
Yes, it
Oh,
will.
yeah.
Yes, it will.
We are testing these microphones. 14 minutes after the hour, we're back on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Those plane rides home from an away game, an away victory, are some of the best times I've ever had in my entire life. And it's all it's dudes at 35,000 feet with a terrible sound system because you have you have somebody's cell phone going into that over the plane. And it was just like it was like real happiness for a lot of people on that team. I don't think they experienced a lot of real happiness because of how focused they were on their jobs. There were a lot of older guys. So, like, their only moments of happiness, I think, were those flights home, like, after a big win. Like, genuine happiness. Their entire life was dedicated to football. So, all week, all they were thinking about was the game. And then that trip home, that, like, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it was like a moment for them just to completely, like, relax and not worry about next week or the past week, their family, nothing. We're at 35,000 feet, nobody else around us except for us. That is a real moment that I don't think a lot of people know about or appreciate, is the flights home from away victories are incredible. Absolutely incredible. Those are good times, man. Really good times. You got people singing. My favorite story is of an offensive lineman, and I won't say his name, but he was asked to sing, right? So if a rookie's asked to sing, like, you got to go sing. So he grabbed the microphone, and he didn't know that the owner's daughter just so happened to be on the team's plane, sitting up in the very front or in the very back. So they kind of have it off. So he kind of got comfortable in his current surrounding and didn't know about the entire surroundings. And he grabbed that thing, and he was not expected to sing the song. I fornicated two bad ladies at the same damn time. At the same damn time. At the same damn... And then he started feeling it because a lot of people were like, okay, yeah. Big white guy. Massive white guy. Nobody thought he was going to sing this song. So everybody starts, like, gassing him up. You know, he's like, I fornicated two... He starts yelling into this thing. And then all of a sudden you see a little assistant from the front come waltzing back the aisle and grabbing the phone out of his hand. And he's like, what? Like, yelling at him while the thing's still on. So now the entire plane hears him yelling at this assistant. And he, like, puts the phone down, and we're all like, oh, no, like, no fun, all right. They're like, Carly Ursay's on this plane. We're like, oh. Everybody just puts their headphones on, sits right back down. Just an hour and a half of silence. That kid thought he was getting cut immediately off the plane. And he did. And he did.
the number one sign of a bad home security system?
Nailed it.
A home security system that's so complicated you never use it. This is exactly the type of security system SimpliSafe has spent a decade fighting against. They believe that simple is safer, and it's exactly why SimpliSafe is the home security for right now when feeling safe at home has never been more important. SimpliSafe was designed to be easy to use while protecting your whole home 24/7. Order online with the click of a button, open the box, place the sensors, plug it in, and your home is protected around the clock. No technician or salesperson has to come and disrupt your house, and you don't need to pay any outrageous monthly fees or sign a 2-year contract. We all have it at the office. We all love it. It's
the best.
And that's why SimpliSafe was named Best Overall Home Security of 2020
Really?
by U.S. News and World Report.
They don't just hand that out.
No, they don't. Nothing to sneeze at.
No, you got to earn that.
Got to earn every part of it. And their 24/7 professional monitoring and emergency dispatch starts at just 50 cents a day.
What? $3.50 a week?
Wow.
So head to simplysafe.com/Pat and get free shipping and a 60-day money-back guarantee. That's simplysafe.com/Pat to make sure they know that our show sent you.
Hey, bingo.
time?
Shout out SimpliSafe. Zito, you love SimpliSafe, don't you?
I love SimpliSafe. I used it yesterday to catch a nice video of me tossing some frisbees into a chain.
That's right. You banged some change yesterday in the office, and it was
I didn't read that.
It was a miraculous shot. You did not. It was a miraculous shot because we got a frisbee golf set sent to the office.
Oh, yeah.
Zito loves this sport. Zito,
I love.
big frisbee guy. Big frisbee guy. And it is much harder than I ever imagined to throw these frisbees into these little things. Because you're either high, you're low, there's only a certain room. Zito pulls one out yesterday, straight out of his ass, throws it up in the air, boom, goes in. Nobody caught it on camera, but guess who did?
SimpliSafe.
SimpliSafe.
Always there for you.
Anytime there's a little bit of movement, they'll catch it for you. And don't worry about them creeping on it because it's only whenever it comes in. It's only in 30-second spurts, so you'll be able to see what happens. And SimpliSafe will keep you protected and also make sure you catch all the action. Speaking of catching all the action, did you see soccer yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
There is a guy that called into this show that said, hey, this is what you bet on. This is how you do it. I'm 25-10 in the last 6 days. Do you want to listen to me or not? Yes. I had people texting me and said, hey, I have no clue what soccer is. I have no idea what's happening, but I followed your Canadian bearded friend's bets blindly. Ladies and gentlemen, after a 4-0 day yesterday, a potential victory lap for our Canadian friend, Mr. Gumpy. Yeah, boy, Gumpy.
Locked in Canada, so here's some of my locks.
Gumpy, what? Whoa, you look good. Look at you, bright eye. Way to go, dude. I'm so happy for you. 4-0 yesterday just has to be miraculous. You're 29-10 in the last 7 days.
We're on a run right now, Pat. I've never seen anything like it.
You feeling good? Like, do you want to enjoy this victory lap a little bit after going undefeated yesterday? Because I heard you could have been 3-1 very, very, very closely yesterday. You kind of got lucky.
The last game, we were on pins and needles, a 95th minute penalty, a massive save by the Levante goalkeeper for the clean sweep.
Shout out to that guy. I think there was actual movement on FanDuel for the amount of money that was bet on it, not only in this office, but by the people that texted me. It was a miraculous day for you, Gumpy. What is it about? Like, how do you know? Like, do you just study all these players? Like, what? You're a diehard soccer guy? What is it?
The way I have it set up is I have a game on the TV, and then I have a game on the computer, and then I have the Spanish stream on the iPad in Spanish because I can't find an English stream. And then other than that, we're just crunching numbers all night, Pat. We can't stop. We're going now.
Zito can listen to that and translate it for you, but if you need to say something back, we'll not be able to.
We'll not be able to, but luckily we're just listening.
Yeah, we're just listening. So this is actually a job built for Zito. Maybe Zito's job is to translate Spanish either movies or shows, and he just gets like on a thing.
Bullhorn?
Yeah, they just said it was good. Oh, yeah. That's how he would translate too.
I did that for 3 years at Best Buy.
Really?
Translator, yes.
Good for Zito.
I spoke English back, though, so they never understood what.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened.
I knew what they wanted.
He was watching YouTube videos yesterday in Spanish.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to speak back. He can understand it, but he just can't speak it back. 29-10 last 7 days. Are you going to try to make a run here? Are you going to keep going, or are we going to do a day or two off?
What kind of guy would I be if I didn't give out one pick to
Okay, let's get this thing to 30-10. That would be a hell of a 7-day run in 40 games. So what do we got?
I'm going to the Serie A. Roma is being undervalued here. Money line -130.
Roma. Minus 130 Serie A.
They're 13-5-3 straight up as favorites, and they in the reverse fixture they beat Udinese 4-0.
So they're hot right now.
Roma came off a loss against Milan 2-0 last week. I think that's why they're being a bit undervalued here. I expect them to get the win today.
You're like a scratch off that always hits at this point.
Yeah.
Like you've come on the show now, 4 times giving out picks. I think you have overall 60% win rate on show bets with yesterday's 4.0, maybe up to 70%. But the texts you've been sending to us for the last couple, literally years almost at this point, you really are a gifted soccer bettor. That is something I think you should think about potentially putting the whole farm, put the whole beard on some things if you feel good. Is that what I should do today with Roma? I should put the whole house on it?
Yeah, I love Roma today, Pat. They're really undervalued here. Udinese is 15th in the league. Roma just lost to Milan. That's the only reason, that little hiccup, we call it.
He acts like he just knows them inside and out. Gumpy, I put together my top 5 soccer players. Since you're a soccer expert, I would like for you to react to those. Do we have the graphic? Will we be able to have Gumpy on the show at the same time as I do the graphic? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yesterday, I put out a tweet during the Chelsea game that Christian Pulisic, the American, we have the guy. Okay, we have never had this situation before. Tim Howard, amazing goalie. Yesterday was the anniversary of him making 16 stops against Belgium in a game that we lost in the World Cup. Tim Howard was an absolute legend. Played for Man U whenever they played for a couple other squads. He is the American standard. Tony Meola is obviously my dream guy, but in soccer, but in this world, Christian Pulisic's the first guy that I've ever watched play from America overseas and go, oh my God, we got a guy. We got it. He's faster than people. He's got a killer instinct, and he's a handsome son of a bitch. I mean, let's just put the whole trio. So I put out a tweet that this guy is on a mission to prove he's the best player on earth, and all of England came after me. All of Europe came after me. And by the way, all the people that are coming after me, I am better than them at soccer. I know it. They don't know that, but I do. But I don't watch soccer on a consistent basis. So what I said was rather ignorant. So last night, you know what I did? I watched 200 hours of film. Last night.
Let's go.
Smart.
Last night I did the Gumpy thing. I had the iPad set up, and I have put together my official top 5 soccer players on Earth list, and I'd like to debut that right now. Shout out to England for this one. You're going to love it. Let's put it up there, Foxy. At number 5, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Whoa. When Zlatan came to the MLS, it was a buzz. It was fanfare. And then what did he do? Just go out and put on some of the most magical, electric performances in MLS history. I think he scored 3 goals in his first game. He was scoring from half field. He was going up and getting it. And then whenever he left, he actually told the MLS, you will be worse without me. And I'm gone. Full heel, absolute stud. Number 5 on my list after watching hundreds of hours of film so I can catch up to where all these British and European fans think that they're at. I had to catch up with them. Because although I played the sport, had numerous college opportunities, potential Olympic stuff like that. I never really watched the game, so I had to catch up because they were coming after me pretty hard. I did all the 100 hours. At number 5, I have Zlatan Ibrahimovic. At 4, I have Mbappe, the French stud. Okay. This dude in the World Cup turned it on and turned it up. I actually said during the World Cup, I was like, oh, Mbappe's about to get all the money. He's about to get all of the money. I got a bunch of people that started tweeting me, he already has all the money. I'm like, no, I mean all the money. He is unbelievable, fast, young, can make a play, has that killer instinct everybody's talking about. He's French, but we still can like him. We can still like him. So I like Mbappe. At number 3 now, this is going to get a little controversial, I think. People are going to get a little bit testy with this one. Lionel Messi. Okay, so this guy, number 3 player in the world. There's a lot of humans in the world.
Pretty good.
Number 3 out of what? How many billions of humans are there on Earth? Does anybody know that?
7.
7 billion people. This guy, number 3 soccer player on Earth, Messi. The other day, he had this incredible little toe touch, little pop-up over a slide tackle, then he crossed the ball in the middle. The guy is a wonderful. I mean, he's absolutely unbelievable. I wish he was number 1, which I think a lot of people did, but the film didn't show it. The film just didn't show it.
Nope.
And what would if I'm not fair to the film, what am I? Lionel Messi, number 3 player in the world. Congratulations to him, buddy. Congrats to him.
Hey, boy, Messi.
Number 2, this guy just became a billionaire. Cristiano Ronaldo, number 2 player on earth. Obviously, he has a 10-pack. His legs are ripped. He can jump like a 50-inch vertical. He's insane. He's good at everything. He scores goals. He puts teams on his back. I get it. Cristiano Ronaldo is the centerpiece whenever you're trying to become an electric striker. That's what Cristiano Ronaldo is. He's faster than everybody. He's more explosive. He's attractive, blah, blah, blah. He does the whole thing. He has 10 billion followers on Instagram and Twitter. He is a actual billionaire. I mean, the guy is living his best life. Number 2 player on planet Earth. Congrats to Cristiano Ronaldo.
Good job, buddy. Congrats.
And after watching hundreds of hours of film and being fair with my rating and what I'm looking for in scouting and analyzing, the number 1 player on planet Earth from Hershey, Pennsylvania, American Christian Pulisic. Number 1 player on Earth.
Number 1.
Is there anybody that's having the streak in the run that he's on at the age of 21?
Nope.
Is there any American that's 21 years old playing for Chelsea that is 2 goals in 2 games and wins a penalty, draws a penalty in the 3rd game to put his team in it, even though they couldn't finish it off? This dude is 5'4", I think. He's faster than everybody. He's got a killer instinct, and he's been a stud his entire life. This is number 1 player on earth. Can't wait for 5-6 years from now when everybody agrees with me on this list.
Here's something that people aren't talking about, Pat. He's come off the bench half the season.
What do you want to do?
Usually, players take 2 to 3 years to adapt to the English game. This is his first season in the EPL.
Cake, dude. It's cake.
The guy is an absolute weapon. Wait till next year. Chelsea added Timo Werner from RB Leipzig. They're buying more players. This Chelsea team is an upstart squad, and they're going to be a team to reckon with going forward.
Well, thank God I just became a big fan of them like 2 days ago. I am a massive Chelsea guy, and it's sad for your Liverpool squad. It's not going to be able to repeat after winning for the first time in 30 years. But if he's coming off the bench, that means they're not building the team around him then, right? Wait until they start putting some things in to utilize Christian's weapons. Now, in the way they talk about him, by the way, the English media, I watch a little halftime shows. Oh, my.
Disrespect.
You know, this American guy can actually play pretty good football, can't he? Oh, he's pretty good for him. The way they talk about American soccer players, I'm happy for Christian going over there and just shoving it down their throats in the net. That's my guy. That's my top.
They did it to Tim Howard when he went to Man United too, the newspapers.
Dempsey. They did it to Dempsey, too.
Hey, Dempsey was the guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I completely forgot about
Also
him.
puts out bangers.
Yeah, he's a rapper. Good rapper. And then Claudio Reyna's kid, Gio Reyna, he's over there in Germany. What if Chelsea's on its way up and the United States men's national team? That would be good. That would be good, wouldn't it? That would be good because, to be honest, the men's national team, just a bunch of trash, if you ask me.
Kind of stinks.
Didn't even qualify for World Cup. That's embarrassing. Hey, we're losing to countries that have like 45 people in them. I mean, they don't even have enough people to qualify to have a team, and they're beating the United States. No longer. Not on Christian, the number 1 player on planet Earth's backs. The United States are all the way back. Gumpy, thank you for the bet today. Thank you for the 4-0 yesterday. We appreciate the hell out of you, buddy.
Thank you, boys. I appreciate it. It was a fun ride yesterday. Pins and needles all day. We got the Guard of Honor for Liverpool today.
What's that? I don't know what the hell that is.
When the team wins the league, their next game, the players on the other team have to stand in a line and clap while they walk through.
Oh,
jeez.
Well, it just so happens the game is against Man City.
Oh, no.
And that's the biggest rival?
No.
And Raheem Sterling basically quit on Liverpool and said, I need to play for a winner, and went to Man City. Well, now he can stand there.
Bravo, boys. I'll tell you what, going to be tough to win a game after you have the other team just clapping for you beforehand. You know what I mean? I'd bet against Liverpool today if I was doing that. Especially, I'd bet for the guy that is miserable watching his team that he said couldn't win, have to cheer for them. I'd bet for them, but it doesn't matter because Liverpool's already won the damn thing. And Roma, what time's Roma kick off?
12:30 start, I believe, Pat.
Eastern Standard?
That's my yes, Eastern.
You're
good
not
question.
I got it. I'm on.
Wow.
I tell
I'm
you, that
Pacific.
confuses me too.
You told me to put everything I have on this, and you don't even know when the game is, Gumpy. It doesn't even matter.
I believe it's 12:30 my time, Pat, so that'd be 3:30 your time.
Okay, 3:30 over here, American Standard Time, 12:30 Western Canada time. Did you watch Alone? Is that near you? I feel like that's pretty near where you're at up there.
Where'd Nick say that is? New Brunswick?
Where's the Alone show
I
at?
believe it's in the Arctic.
I think it's in the
don't know.
Arctic. Yeah, it's a little bit north, but it is over there on the left side over there where you guys are living.
Northwest Territory, I believe. Territories.
There you go. That's the East Coast.
It says here Alone, Vancouver Island, British Columbia, and third near Nahuelhaupi National Park.
You didn't even know.
Can't argue that.
You didn't even know what Canada Day was yesterday, so we need no information from you about Canada. The only thing we need is your soccer bets. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen, our Canadian friend.
Yeah, boy!
Way to go, Gump.
Cheers, boys.
The FanDuel folks sent me a message about Gumpy. They might have to, they said.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that happens.
They said, listen, we might have to start adjusting some things with this
happens.
Gumpy guy because he is taking us to
That'll happen.
the absolute woodshed.
He's a shack.
He is a shack. FanDuel said, actually, the people that I talked to at FanDuel said, I don't know who the bearded Canadian is, but he's electric, and nobody talks about soccer gambling. And that is, I'm happy that he does.
Here we go. We got the guy.
By the way, we got the guy.
Let's go.
We got the guy. We got the guy in soccer gambling and in the soccer world. We got the guy. All things are looking up for us. 34 minutes after the hour, we got to get to a break. We're back on the other side. Kenny the Jet Smith will not be on today's show.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You know what it was? I promoted the guests on today's show. I can't do it. I literally cannot put a graphic up saying who's going to be on the show because every time we do it, at least one drops out.
Or you can look at it this way. Every time you've done it, Gumpy has done very, very well on his bets.
Are we sure about that with the first time? No, you're just talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
Your recent history.
Recency bias.
Yeah, a little bit of that. What happened with Kenny? He said something happened. He had popped off, couldn't come
Yeah,
on the
had,
show.
to
a,
the
had an
bathroom.
emergency.
I was excited to talk to him.
Yeah.
That show
Love it.
is amazing.
The best.
They're bringing back the Tuesday show. Lefko, Shaq.
Nice. D-Wade and Kenneth Parker?
Yeah, they're coming back. You got 2 episodes
Thank
coming
God.
up with Adam Lefko. Yeah. Are you going to watch?
Oh,
Me?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? It's the best one on Tuesday night.
35 minutes after the hour. This is the Pat McAfee Show. We're back on the other side. Jeez. Your motivational speech for our listeners to come back to McAfee and Hawk, a sports show, tomorrow.
So yeah, I'm not doing the inspirational thing. You like to do this and try to paint me into a corner and get all your little buddies to cheer and rally around and have the sarcastic cheer for me to do something like that.
No, that's not what we do at all. You don't know us at all.
So yeah, I know your game. I'm older than all of you too, I believe. So like, it's not like I'm the little brother that you're taking advantage of. That's what you try to do here in these moments. I know.
No.
So I could hearing the guys' voices in the background. AJ. But yeah, I think right now we're in the weirdest time ever, Pat. We really are.
Yeah, we are.
It's a brutal, weird time. Stop clapping for me. It's not a motivational talk.
Yeah, it is. Let's go.
You have a 10 to 12 radio show still every day, correct?
Oh, yeah, I do.
So yeah, and most likely at 1 p.m. daily, we're going to go on here and we're going to talk about what's going on and see free agency in the world.
Where's a wall for me to run through? Thank you for that, AJ.
This is so stupid.
That's what we're talking about, AJ. AJ Hawk. AJ Hawk. AJ Hawk. AJ Hawk. AJ Hawk.
Look good, feel good, play good.
Play good, pay good, live good, die good.
Let's get it. Let's go. Dream house is a tour bus. Scream loud that you knew us. Deep down, I'm the new plug. You ain't about to get too dust. Peach brown when they crew scrubs. Sweet sound from the 2 subs. Beats loud as a move, bruh. Lead the crowd like, ooh, what? Long hair on the big body. 2 10s, both sitting shoddy. Crack a fist, start getting rowdy. Blow a nose, looking like an Audi. It's Uncle Sam without the taxes. Crowd stands up, I keep them loud. I made this beat, you hear it smacking? Who is 30? Hand me a nap. You probably wasn't expecting this.
What expected?
Now more than ever, woo! We need people with the right skills to support our communities, especially the frontline workers who provide resources and care for those most in need.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're
Oh
right.
yeah!
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah! To help LinkedIn.
Oh yeah!
To help, LinkedIn is offering a free job post for healthcare and essential services organizations that needs to quickly fill critical roles with the people who help us all. If you're hiring for one of these organizations, job posts on LinkedIn can help you quickly find the right people for your front line. LinkedIn can help you find frontline employees. From its active community of over 675 million, oh my God, numbers. LinkedIn
It's
jobs.
a startling number, isn't it?
It really is.
It's a large number.
Caught me off guard.
A lot of people there if you need to find a job.
Oh yeah, LinkedIn Job screens candidates for the skills and experience you are looking for, and puts your job posts in front of qualified people who meet your requirements.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Wow.
I think so. You can find the right person to quickly fill critical roles. To post a healthcare or essential service job for free, or
Did you just have a stroke?
no, I was waiting for the deep beat drop.
Oh, very nice of you.
good,
very, very
good.
nice of you.
I heard it coming. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
want to
very-
step on it.
Very nice of you.
drop.
Jay, good beat here.
Good job, Jay.
Thumbs up, Jay.
All right, visit LinkedIn.com/Pat. That's LinkedIn.com/Pat. Terms and conditions apply.
Jay, why are you so far away from Zito? Is it because he smells?
Jay,
Jay, come on.
It's just where I sit. That's where the board is. I don't know.
Jay.
I'm sure.
Just say it, Jay. Just say what you really
What's
feel.
going on, Jay?
Jake, tell the truth.
Say what
What's
you
so
feel.
funny, Nick? What's your problem?
Oh, I mean, he's called Zito a big fat stooge until he smells.
I did not. Jason did.
Jay.
I never would.
Yeah, you did.
I'm sure you.
Let's take some phone calls here.
You're thinking
Last
it.
show of the week. Might as well. You know, I just read a comment in the YouTube chat thing about buying a For the Brand mask.
Oh, yeah?
I refused to sell masks like a month ago because I didn't want to profit off of potential natural disaster or national. You get it.
Pandemic.
There it is. Yeah, I didn't want to do it. But now that literally it feels like everybody's forced to wear masks, you shouldn't have to wear a terrible mask. Like we should help that, and then we should probably donate money to somewhere. We should probably get on the mask game. Phil is not going to be happy that I just said that because Phil and I have had numerous conversations, and I've held very firm about, we're not doing masks because I don't want to profit off of, like that just feels like an interesting business move to do that. So I said, let's not do it. And by the way, I normally make those types of decisions that most people will call financially irresponsible when it comes to stuff. But I always like to sleep at night, and I feel like if something's going to happen, I always say. So now that masks are becoming mandatory, I feel like that's potentially something we should maybe get back into thinking about.
Something to think about.
Hey, after a holiday, we'll think about it.
Yeah, put a pin in it.
Good idea. We'll put a pin in. We'll circle back.
Circle back.
Yep.
Let's go to Calvin in Wisconsin. What's going on?
Really agenda for next week.
Hey, what's going on, pal?
Hey, Bob. What's going on over there?
Not much. Driving home.
From where?
Well,
From where?
First off, I'm honored to be on the best sports talk show on the round earth.
All right, Calvin. All right. Thank you. That means a lot. And we're only the best sports talk show on earth because of people like you, sir, Calvin.
So the first question I have, serious question, who would win in a drinking competition? The walking Franzia bag that you have in the office there, booze bag Emmett, or Foxy's drunken, stumbling, alcoholic dad?
Oh, no! Mitt's got no chance. Mitt's got no chance. Let me tell you what, my dad's been drinking for over 50 years now.
Every day is a bad day for a beer around Foxy's dad.
Bingo, and especially around 4th of July, baby. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you what, that is something that I don't think Mitt's liver has got to yet. Like, Mitt's this young guy. He's still getting after it. He gets hangovers as a 21-year-old, which is very suspect. A lot of people question that. But Mitt, if he puts another in, 2-3 decades, he could potentially catch up to Foxy's dad.
Also, you got to keep in mind, Mitt's growing up on White Claws, all right? My dad only drank Bud Light his entire life.
And probably some Diesel back in the day.
Budweiser's for sure.
Oh, yeah, get some Diesels. Great question. Great question from Wisconsin.
Walking bag of Franzia.
You didn't deserve that, man.
I am losing that battle 10 times out of 10, though.
To Foxy's dad?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've heard stories.
Good awareness.
Yeah. And not bad awareness.
Good awareness.
This morning in the pre-show meeting, you just started yelling in the middle of it just for aimless.
So have you guys...
Jeez, you don't deserve that.
I was not the one yelling.
Marwin.
Oh, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
We all know
Go on,
who
Mitt.
was actually
Go on.
yelling.
Yeah, or Marwin in Texas. What's up, dude?
What's up, Pat?
Just hanging out, man. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I got to break some news real quick.
Oh, shoot.
I'm going to be a father.
Marwin, never met you. I have no idea if you'd be a good dad or not, but I am pumped that the sperm found the egg and made it happen for you. Let's go, Marwin. You're going to be dad of the year soon.
Shit, I hope so, man. I never met my dad, but it's all good.
Oh, here we go. Now you're going to be the role model that your dad should have been.
I hope you and the boys got to have a good 4th of July.
Oh, thanks, man. That's very nice.
And all I want to talk about is the Stooges over at PFF once again.
Oh, you got to remember.
So Aaron Rodgers is not on their top 50.
Who cares, dude? Doesn't matter.
I did not know that. I did not. Marwin, I have to protect Pro Football Focus because if Pro Football Focus disappears, then my Punter of the Decade title also disappears.
True.
So it is in my best interest to make sure people don't bury Pro Football Focus too much. Mm-hmm. But them leaving Aaron Rodgers out of the top 50 is an egregious decision. It's making me wonder, does Gunther Kuntz, is he a part ownership of Pro Football Focus with Chris Collinsworth?
Potentially. Ooh. I mean, you know what? But again, let all this stuff come out. Let Rodgers just eat this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we are going to see a very different Raj next football
Let's
season.
go to Tom in New Jersey. What's going on, Tom? What exit are you, bub?
Me, I'm exit 9.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's down there in the south side of Jersey here. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, we're I like to call it centrals. We're pork roll country, not Taylor ham country.
Okay, sounds good. I'm happy I learned that. What do you want to talk about, brother?
Well, you guys always seem to call on me when I'm on the toilet. Not saying I'm the best guest you ever had, but I don't think I'm the worst.
Oh, hey, that's all we're looking for, Tom. Probably. You're 100% right.
Well, listen, I told Connor I wanted to talk about the Raiders, but that was a little bit of a white lie, even though the chat lit up when you mentioned them.
You guys lying?
Well, I mean, we talked about the Raiders.
Just a little bit, just a white lie. Because listen, I'm in a bit of a rough spot. I hope you can help a brother out.
Okay.
You know, I had a great job lined up, but the old drug test, aka the fun assessment, came back that I just had too much fun in my urine.
What fun was it? Was it the herbal fun, or was it the made in
It was your kind of fun, Pat. It was your kind of fun.
Okay, well, by the way, you're saying that it's vitamins or whatever, because I was wondering if it was like gasoline in a bucket in maybe the hills.
Soda.
There is a baking soda and stuff like that. Because if that's the case, I think you kind of put that on yourself. But you know what? If that job doesn't allow you to do that, then you probably don't want that job anyways, bro. Wouldn't have been right for you.
Well, listen, hey, I listen to both of your shows every day, you and AJ. Wondering how a high-energy goofball who loves MMA, NFL, and MLB can find my way to Indy and join the boys.
Well, you're going to have to pass a drug test. Let's go to Travis
Like the
in New
NFL,
York.
You know that test is coming just one time.
I don't know. Is that right? I don't know.
Yeah, it's only one time.
Maybe he didn't know that he was going to get drug tested for a said job. I don't know. I have no idea. Is every job drug test?
Yeah, I think they're pretty clearing up front with you if you're going to get a drug test or not.
I had a friend who was running a business, and he drug tested because the job involved some decisions that had to be made. You probably shouldn't be high while making. Well, I don't think it would affect you, but if anything went wrong, that would really look bad on the company. One guy showed up. Most qualified guy he said has ever showed up to interview. His entire body was shaved completely bald. He nared his entire body because he thought he was going to do a hair test. And the guy, my friend who was doing the hiring was like, well, you're going to have to come back next week when you have some hair. We are going to have to pull hair. And by the way, because you shaved it doesn't mean it's gone. And the guy just never came back. Just never came back. He nared his entire body. What a genius move. He probably had the old Visine bottle in the pants, the whole thing. High-paying job, would have been a good job for the guy. Was qualified, by the way. Just did the whole body shape look like Mr. Clean coming in there. Chavis in New York, what do you want to talk about?
Hey, Pat, I just wanted to first say thanks to you and the boys. I've been watching your guys' show every day through the quarantine. It's been helping be a distraction for sure.
We appreciate you, Chavis. We appreciate you. Am I saying your name right? Yeah, Chavis?
Yes, sir.
Feel pretty good.
But I just wanted to talk about Brian Moorman is up for nomination for the Ring of Honor for Buffalo Bills. Wanted to get your thoughts on that and ask you if you ever had any interactions with him, and if so, what was the best one?
Thank you, Chavis, for the call from Buffalo area, I would assume, upstate New York fan. Brian Moorman, former punter for the Buffalo Bills. He is remembered for Sean Taylor's kill shot in the Pro Bowl. Rest in peace, Sean Taylor. Brian Moorman went for a fake running down the side. Great athlete. Everybody says Brian Moorman's a great athlete. In that particular case, did not see the man who potentially decapitated a man on a Pro Bowl field, which is what a lot of people know. Great punter, great athlete. He punted in such an interesting fashion because he was kind of a smaller guy, thinner guy, so he had to get his whole body into it. I like Moorman. I don't know if he goes in the Ring of Honor, that's good for the brand. Great for the brand. I'd be happy for it, but I don't know who he's up against. You know, sometimes as a punter, you have to have real self-awareness and be like, or as a kicker, you have to have real self-awareness. Like, okay, is that person going to get it over me? Probably. But if Moorman's even up for it, that means at some point he's going to get in for it. And I'm happy for him. I've never encountered him, though. He and I have never. I think we maybe shook hands before a game, but I don't know him well enough. I wish I did. And it turns out the only guys I really know are the guys that just hammer beers. Like, I think that's why Shane Leckler and I got pretty tight. I think that's why Colquitt and I got pretty tight. Vinatieri and I got along because we're on the same team. He doesn't hammer beers, but I think he enjoyed watching me do that. But aside from that, not really that tight with a lot of kickers and punters. Not that I hate them. There's one, but.
Who is it?
I'm not saying it.
We know it is.
It's an older kicker, not a punter. And I don't hate him anymore, by the way. I'm past it. One of my really good friends has been golfing with him every day.
Really?
Yeah. A little bit of a rounder guy out in the desert.
Really?
Yeah. He told me that.
Wow.
In the car. He was like, I get out there and I golf with blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And they're great games. And I was like, you golf with blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, don't even start. Don't even start. And I was like, well, that's just, and he said, we're in our own carts. He's a good golfer, good guy. And I was like, yeah, I bet. Did he tell you he was a good golfer and good guy? He was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, that is the guy. But AQ, I think, is going to try to potentially mend fences. Not going to happen, though. RJ in California, what's going on? Why do you wear gloves? Take your gloves off. I'm great, RJ. Kicker,
That's
dude.
good. That's good.
Not even catching
I
the
want
ball.
to talk about Aaron Rodgers real quick, if we could.
Let's do it.
So, I've been watching Aaron Rodgers since he, first came into the league. Unfortunately, after Peyton Manning went down in Indianapolis, I was an Aaron Rodgers fan.
All right. Thank you, RJ. Appreciate you, man. Me too, by the way.
Yeah, pretty similar.
Pretty
similar.
Hey, me too.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you ain't never lie, RJ. You ain't never lie.
RJ in the house, y'all.
We got like 30 seconds before this radio show ends. We can't thank you enough for rocking with us this week. Big thanks to all of our guests. We are off tomorrow. We will see you on Monday. What a week, by the way. Conversation with Chris Herron, next level.
Yeah.
Maybe most important conversation I've ever had with somebody. I learned so much. It was insightful, and what a legend. I will beat him and play him in tennis. I will probably lose to him in tennis.
He is a gorilla on the court.
Cormier coming in. I mean, the Jet yesterday. You name it.
Mayor
Sean Casey.
today.
I mean, this is a hell of a week. We can't thank you enough for watching and listening wherever the hell you may be. We know that you have other opportunities and options to watch and listen to. The fact that you listen to our show, we are forever thankful. We will see you on Monday. To the radio listeners, you're the greatest of all time. All right, Mitt. All right, Booze Bag of Franzia.
Come on, pal.
We go.
Body of Franzia. You came in this morning calling your shot. You said, hey, I'm going to have a good day today. Today's going to be a good day, is what he said, right?
Yep.
He came in. He's all dressed up. He had his hair done, bright-eyed. He was carrying 3 drinks on the way in, by the way. I mean, he started cleaning up. He grabbed the – he interrupted the pre-show meeting twice, but he was having his best intern day. Today was Mitt's potential best intern day. This afternoon, he's going to try to learn how to video edit. I mean, here we go. Trying to become a valuable piece of the office, right? Trying his best. What can you do to become irreplaceable? Mitt is trying to figure that out right now.
Let's go.
But will today be the day, Thursday, July 2nd, that Mitt gets through his entire minutes for the first show? A lot of people are saying no fucking chance. Mitt said today is the day. Ladies and gentlemen, our intern, Mullet Mitt's minutes on what we talked about today.
All right, now.
All right, it's Feel Good Thursday, and the worst commissioner in sports admits to potentially negotiating in bad faith.
Oh, good start here. I completely forgot we talked about Rob Manfred Becker.
Connor told a completely false story and then took a little bit of a tumble.
Yeah. Bingo.
Completely false.
Oh, Mitt's batting 1,000 right now.
Nothing false.
Very sad. None of the boys have been up to Foxy's Lake House.
Yeah,
it's a big AFL weekend. The Pat's Collingwood Magpies are taking on Essendon Football Club tomorrow at 5:50 a.m.
I don't know how to say it either. It's Essendon or Essendon. I'm not 100% sure, but they are, I believe, the Bombers, and the Magpies don't have sides or steel side bottom, which son of a bitch was partying. I mean, things like that are going to happen. Charge it to the game, dog. Steel side bottom's back in 5 weeks.
We got Diggs Geelong Cats taking on Zito's Gold Coast Suns. 2:45 a.m. Saturday. Excited for the live tweets.
From Diggs, right?
Yeah. Yep, let's go.
I'll be there.
We had Pat retracting his statement saying Antonio Brown will be a Buccaneer after video surfaced of him running with all-time good guy Russell Wilson.
All-time good guy.
All-time great guy.
Do you have a good baseball player in there as well?
I wrote he is a member of the Yankees.
That's not what you said last week, Mitt, off the air, but continue.
No, he's a great guy.
What do you say off the air? What do you say off the air? What do you say off the air?
Sorry.
The new bet is that AB will play in the NFL this year.
Smart. You just handled that very well right there.
Sean Casey joined our show. Happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday, Sean.
Pat has a .333 on-base percentage. Never forget that.
Never forget. Billy Bean did.
Yep, let's go. Every game is more important in the shortened season, and managers will be exposed. We also talked how Ken Griffey Jr. is bees to honey. We have news that we should talk about.
Wait a second. The way you said that was very interesting.
That's a quote from.
Yeah, but he said whenever we go outside the hotel, we live different lives.
Yeah,
Boom, bees the honey. You know what I mean?
I looked up the quote, and it was just like in general like a good thing. So I thought.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Well, it's like flies on shit.
Yeah.
White on rice.
You had to look that
bees
up.
to honey.
A little bit of context, Mitt.
I'm not even sure bees like honey. But I think they make honey, but I don't know if they like it.
Yeah, but I think they come from where honey is at, right? Because remember, I had that whole bee's nest that created a bunch of honey on McAfee's honey.
Yep.
But I kicked them out because I didn't need them stinging Val.
How you doing?
Keep it moving.
Keep moving.
All right. Well, news that we should talk about presented by Manscaped.
Oh.
Tesla is now worth more than any other car company. Epstein's lady got arrested this morning.
Vanilla
Ice and Beavis and Butthead are back. How you doing? Keep it moving. LA Rams and Chargers have the world's biggest jumbotron. NHL has been handling quarantine well. The players can now play in the Olympics. Check it out on the new Hockey Talk pod releasing today or tomorrow?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Hey,
But
well-
I appreciate the plug.
Hey, and by the way, nobody knew that, so you're okay.
Dang it.
When was it out?
Yesterday.
Who was on the show?
AQ, as always. Just me and AQ, the host of the show.
It's a great show.
AQ Shipley?
It's a very.
Invited you to come on. You blew us off.
I was busy. Got a golf outing. What do you want from me? Got a golf outing.
But it's Simply Safe home security ad. Killed it, Ty.
The golf outing, by the way, is a big roll of the dice.
Oh, yeah? Why is that?
I don't know.
We got rid of the roll of dice.
I mean, yeah, I had to get rid of the rolling of the dice, actually, which was part of the golf outing. Because there's a lot of hands on there, you know?
Yeah.
Normally, you got to worry about not a worldwide pandemic.
No.
July 10th, though, it's happening.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm playing good golf, too, right now. I'm thinking about maybe entering myself.
Should.
Playing with a team.
Should. We all should.
Yeah, because we can get Foxy, who plays like a 90-year-old.
Yeah,
Right? That's our safe
need
shot.
that.
And then let us just go up there and big swing and dick that thing.
Couple bombs.
Good team.
Good team. Great team. But that's why I couldn't be a part of that Hockey Talk, because we were putting together a golf outing upstairs. Okay, sorry about that. It's a good show, though.
Good show.
Good
Great.
show.
Thank you.
It's a good show. That's Hockey Talk.
That's Hockey Talk.
That's
Hockey
Talk. It was out yesterday, Mitt. Jeez, correct the minutes. Too.
Out yesterday. That's Hockey Talk. Every time we have released a graphic of promoting our guests, at least one has canceled. But our guy Gumpy is on a damn run.
Yes.
He came on the show, talked about it 4-0 yesterday, 29-10 in the last week. His pick today, Roma money line minus 130.
I put a lot on there, too, by the way. Because Gumpy's on a heater. You never walk away from a heater.
Never.
When our bearded Canadian friend is hot, our bearded Canadian friend is hot. Go to FanDuel, hammer minus 130 for Roma. Let's get richer today.
We debuted Pat's top 5 soccer players in the world. The film does not lie on that one.
I watched how many hours of film?
200. Film doesn't lie.
Yeah. Maybe 300, actually. Yeah.
Give or take. At least 200.
At least. I was watching on 3 different things, 4 different things. People forget. I do research. I'm a show host, dude.
Yeah, we had a LinkedIn ad. Good ad read, Z.
Marlon
Marlon from Texas. Congrats, man. Soon to be father of the year.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Marlon.
What'd you say? Say it one more again.
Marlon.
By the way, what time is the West Coast game tomorrow? Or the Gold Coast game tomorrow?
Connor's trying to
Oh,
catch
no,
him.
he's checking.
It's 2:45.
Ah, interesting.
It's not tomorrow, though.
Saturday.
Saturday.
Oh,
Check the minutes, Mitt. Check the minutes.
Oh, yeah? Hold on. Let me just check something real quick. 2:45, you say? Well, you can't see it, but it says 2:35, ass clown.
You were off by 24 hours. He was off by 10 minutes. So
Okay, so both wrong. Whose errors are we keeping track of?
Mitt he has dunked on you a
lot lately.
Oh, well, yeah. It's fair enough.
You've had a rough day, Connor. I mean,
Me?
literally from minute one, you've had a rough day.
My knee is actually still bleeding. It sucks. It stinks.
It's because the karma of the shit you put on your dry erase board today.
Well, I shouldn't have pooped on Mitt's face this morning, but yeah.
All right. Go back to you, Mitt.
We finished off the show, taking some calls. Rogers has been left off of the Pro Football Focus Top 50 list to just add some fuel to the fire.
Oh, yeah. Bingo. His name was Marwin, by the way.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
okay. Don't worry
Ass
about
hat.
it. You had an L in there for a loss, but you haven't taken today. It's a W for win. Marwin. Go ahead. Let's go.
We took some other calls, and that was the show.
Not as much enthusiasm to end it as I would have hoped for, but not a bad day there for Mohamed.
Good job,
We're
man.
back
Only
in
2 hours.
We're back in 58 minutes with McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk. Last show of the week here. I don't know what we're gonna do for that show.
Feel Good Thursday, baby.
Feel Good Thursday.
Yeah, let's go.
I wish we could just, play some music and have a good time.
Yeah.
Can't do it on YouTube, though, because we'll get struck down. We'll get struck down.
We got Rocket Mortgage going on.
Oh, we do got the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Shout out to Ricky Fowler. We will talk about that in 1 hour. McAfee bump might be a real thing. He was plus 3,000 yesterday. Now he's plus 900 to win the whole thing because Ricky Fowler came out hot in Detroit.
Keep in mind, this is exactly what Ricky Fowler does.
Oh, my God.
Starts hot. Tends to crumple down the stretch. Listen, I bet on him. We all did, okay? We're all pushing
You
for
don't
Ricky.
want this.
But
Jeez, Ty.
before we hand him the goddamn trophy, all right, let's just keep in mind what Ricky does on the golf course.
This is a friend of the show. All those
I know,
years.
big friend of the show.
All of those years, where those things were happening where he wasn't able to maybe finish or close. That was before he came on this show.
Yeah. True. I hope so.
He is a new Ricky Fowler. He's winning this weekend against your negativity. I want to let you know that, Ty.
Hey, I hope so because I will benefit. I did get Ricky at plus 3,000. All right, so hey, go low, pal. Go low.
All right, we're back on it. I mean, that's unbelievable. Friend of the show, Ty just fucking buried him. Did you hear that, Tiggs?
I didn't want to be in the video while he was saying that.
I'm trying to be an objective journalist here. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to do my job.
That's not your job. Your job is not to be an objective journalist.
Well, with some things you have to do it.
We're back in 57 minutes. This was the Pat McAfee Show, Thursday, July 2nd. Have a great 4th of July weekend. And remember to be like, hey, we can get better. Pretty cool place here, though. This has been the Pat McAfee Show, Thursday, July 2nd.